Okay, so this should be live now. There is... I think this is all sorted. So we have got vehicles I can build. Or at least design. I mean, this one's probably interesting. Like, some of them are randomised. And we have this as well, which I think is on live coil front and live leaf rear. But it needed a high-performance sport body. I think a mid-size one in this case. Or is it, yeah, it's small. 2.3 meters is a smaller body. So, yeah. It's got quite a large inline six, as you can see. I've had to really force it into such a tiny body where it just didn't want to go. But it's the best body I could get working. Others look so tall off the ground. This one is a little better. I don't believe I randomised the colour. So I'll have to do something about that. If I can just skip through these menus. What material was it? I forget. Treated steel. Okay. Pretty heavy bodywork. I think it's like 1,600 kilos if I remember correctly, because it's still a smaller body. So, yeah, I'll see what I can do with bringing the wheel up. Or the colour selector. It has saved it. Okay, this is good. So let us see if the wheel isn't showing. Come on. Chrome EXE. There we go. So, I mean, given I was not prepared for this, just in case it's used that before, I'm going to generate a couple of new colours. So we have got that. Body panels. Yeah, we can use that hex code. I think the ruby is what I use for white wall tyres, because it just completes it a little. Allows smaller wheels to work on what are cross-ply. I think they're hard compound. So they're not the absolute worst, but they aren't great tyres, especially for sportiness. But they're still not the absolute worst. Okay, that's like a Core 2 Duo blue. Excellent. Of all cars to get it as well, though. We've got like Core 2 Duo blue and A and D green. Perfect. And I messed that entry up. There we go. They're both actually pretty nice colours. I could use that on the roof. I could see that working on the roof. So if I had another colour. I think there's like convertible top here somewhere. Soft top. As the wheel has decided. And I'm on the wrong thing completely. I will fix it. So if we go advanced paint mode. We can hopefully just enter that. There we go. And the car is now convertible coloured. I mean, hopefully this one isn't so cursed as the one I built before, but I don't know. I do need to fix that. Now I'm on the correct window. But yeah, hopefully this isn't just so cursed. I can change it. There's got to be bits somewhere. There's carpet as well. That could be this colour. I do want the chrome though. I want the majority of it to be Core 2 Duo colour because it just seems to work for me. There is, there we go. That's the soft top. I think it's like a manual soft top, if I'm remembering correctly. I can go back. Yeah, automatic soft top, actually. That's what the wheel decided upon. So I feel like I should make this kind of a luxury car. Not going to work well with, I guess, leaf springs on the back and live coil front. But I can try and make this work. Maybe even build it as somewhat like a muscle car. Doesn't look like a muscle car, but I think that's a vibe it could pull off. That's such a nice blue, though. I mean, I'm not so sure the roof works, but it did say I have to use these two colours, so I'm going to try and work that into it. I think the convertible roof is probably the least harmful way I can. I'm going to go with some chrome colour, I think. Global. And I don't know if that's music so loud. I don't think it is. It's loud on my headphones, though. Okay, so I changed that. The wheel lip. One of these is the white wall, which is miscellaneous wheel 2. I will use that. There we go. Nice chrome wheels, which match how I like them to be done. But it's like lower trim here. I could try and make that chrome, but I don't know if that would be going too far. No, front bumper. Okay, that's technically the bumper then. Yeah, I think it just goes too far. I think I'm best off just keeping that the whole blue colour. And adding trimming chrome and stuff. And then the interior can definitely be green, matching the roof. So, I believe something is gonna work here. I think if we bring that back, it should hide the engine well enough. I mean, it doesn't exactly hide it. Oh dear. I mean, can I move? If I can move the windscreen back a little. That's probably the easiest way of doing it. I did remove a colour picker. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna actually cover that up fully. I could raise the ride height and lower the engine. Not sure that's gonna work either. It all gets into this awkward territory though. I mean, all I could think to do is like extend that piece backwards, and it's not going to fully line up, but hope at least at first glance it works. Yeah, that's just not going to work for me though. Like, is there... I would say is there a different body type? The wheel has kindly chosen this body type, so that's what I have to use. I can't betray the wheel. The wheel is all knowing and perfect and other such stuff. I'm going to just have like 2 vents here. Just to do somewhat a way of hiding stuff. Just raise that up just enough. This is a crazy way of hiding an engine. I will acknowledge that much. I feel like I could just go completely wide. I don't think it's allowed me to have aero. So, you know, I'm just wondering what the wheel has told me here. Trying to make a design of it. As I say, I could try going with, like, some kind of weird muscle car vibes. Like, the best I've got right now as an idea. We can have a fuel filler cap in the middle for some reason. I mean, but that is kind of a luggage compartment, so I'm not so sure that will work. At this point, maybe I should just put it around here. But that doesn't quite fit properly, though. I feel like it needs to be in the middle. I mean, it's likely going to impact actual storage space, but we do it for the looks. I feel like maybe that one's a little better. I think that one kind of works. I don't know. I think in terms of just keeping this smooth, I know these might be a little more modern looking, but I want to keep the design somewhat smooth looking, so going with a super old style chromed out filler cap won't necessarily work. So there we go. I think, I was going to say I could add vents. I kind of think I'm going to have to add something to the bonnet. It might be under, like, body moulding. There might be something I can use there. That's an outwards one, I think. So if we pivot that 90 degrees. Excellent. That will hide it quite nicely. And I'll actually also kind of complement the centre. Not tunnel, the central cooling vent. I think I've pushed that about as low as I can. Because this will like blend fairly nicely together, I feel, and look like one piece almost. Probably raise that thingy up. And that just about covers it all. Just about. I quite like that, about as much as I can like it. Cast iron head showing through, because we did not get an aluminium one, which would look kind of cool. I don't know what the weight balance of the thing is, and yeah, also there's bits showing through, that's not great. If I raise that up just a little, there we go. It is more of a muscle car than I think it should be. But what else am I going to do at this point, trying to get it working? It's like kind of like a Hot Wheels there, though, that you can't see all that much. It's honestly not as bad for visibility as I would perhaps expect, but it is going to impair visibility of what's directly in front of the engine. So we have got 58% front. That's a lot less bad than it could be, given it's quite a large engine in a smaller car. How large was it? I forget. 5 litres. I think it's a 5 litre inline 6, yes. The wheel went big with this one. So, yeah, I don't think I need vents on it anymore. But the engine is up there. Even if it's a massive hole for it, I think we're going to need some kind of cooling down here. Also, the E-Type had that, so it would just look more correct to have some kind of intake here. I mean, I think it was, like, more open on the E-Type. I'm not going to say I'm going to run it completely transparent, but I'm not going to run it so much as easy to see through as that. I mean, that doesn't go anywhere. Like, if you see, we remove this body, though, it's very much an off-roader in terms of overall layout. That chassis tunnel, unless I can change that, I'll probably go with some kind of ladder frame, because it's too large. So, not ladder frame, I mean some kind of basic chassis. I think it is a ladder frame, yeah. It is on a ladder frame. Not sure if it's a heavy duty, but it is on a ladder frame. As I say, it built an off-roader which has, for some reason, got a sports car body, basically. The wheel does some strange things. So we have got body, we have got chassis tunnel size. That's not even the body's fault at this point. That's just that the transmission is like right there because I've raised everything up. How am I going to get this working? If I could raise up the, just it's easier to go on the chassis muff. If I could raise that up, yeah. Like, at this point, what else do I do? Like, it looks uglier having the roof line so tall. But I'm going to have to fit seats in here somehow. I could also try and extend the roof back a little, perhaps. But yeah, it's like, if I don't raise that up, it just isn't going to work. You need the space to actually fit some kind of seats in there. And the engine, as you will see, really struggling to fit. So we've got that. Does look like we have disc brakes on the front. One place the wheel wasn't totally cruel at. They do look like cross-ply tyres, however, so that's not ideal. I mean, as I said, I'm going to have to get a design on here, and the one thing that is bugging me is just that. So, you know, I mean, I'm thinking if I'm lucky, well, not lucky so much, but if I put the seats like there, I can kind of cover that just to the point it's not as much of an issue. There's only so much I can do, though. I think I might have moved the engine back. If I didn't, maybe I should. Because I do sometimes change the positioning. The wheel didn't decide that much. Sometimes I just have to. So wait, I have I have moved the engine back. Like, physically further back in the car because it kind of had to, I guess, to fit in the body. I think that's why I did it. But I didn't want to impair interior space too much. You see, this is where things get interesting because the body, I can get the front firewall. I can try moving that forward a little. Like, you're not going to notice too much if it's just the head of the engine poking through. There we go. If I just have it that way, bits of the engine I think are sticking through there. I know they're not. It's just the top, and that's going to be covered by the dashboard. Not ideal, no, but like I've got to somehow make this appear to have space on the interior, which there is not a lot of. So we're going to go with the seats. Put a modern grille on I could, but probably not. I kind of want fog lights, but I don't think they would actually work. I mean, indicators probably will, in some sense of the word. Yeah, I can have indicators like just on the edge, perhaps. If I implement these correctly, something like that, they're not going to look too bad. Like, it's not exact E-Type design features, but it is there. It is cohesive enough. I should probably have a bit of chrome. I don't know, because I don't want chrome round this grille per se, as I don't think it's going to actually look good, but I can try and do various things. Like, as I say, chrome around the indicators, I don't think that would look too bad. So there's trim or there's chrome. And then we've got these two different ones. So I think they're flatter. Oh, they do show through. That's not ideal. Like, they do just show them mounted to nothing. I have thought, though, of adding some, like, other grill stuff here. Maybe, I mean, as I say, it's not exactly E-type, but I think I could go with some chrome on the edge. No, that just tears through. That does not look good at all. I'm not sure exactly why it does that, but it does. Hi, Weevo. I am trying to build this, like, or at least design it. The wheel was weird. Live coil front, leaf wear on a lower slung sports car body. Yeah, no, it's not quite normal though. It's more normal, but it is basically an off-roader cosplaying as a sports car. Like, that's the best way I can describe it. It's got a 5-litre engine as well. Yeah, so, like, I'm doing what I can to actually try and tie this together. I don't think the wheel builds a lot of normal stuff, honestly. But we do need to find something, like, there's inner grill pieces. I'm going to have to try and use one of these to tie it together, I think. And I didn't try and grab that side of the grill. Yeah, the turquoise. These are the colours the wheel chose, okay? I mean, I'm trying to implement the green. Doesn't quite fit, but it fits a little. Close enough. And the interior? The interior is mostly gearbox. And, drive shaft and stuff. How I'm going to get this working, I'm not quite sure, but I can try. Anyway, you know, it gave me the Core 2 Duo blue for once. So, yeah, the Core 2 Duo blue fighting the AMD green. Yeah, honestly, the design is kind of, like, comparatively with some things it's done. It's not as cringe as a, like, 67 dead meme thing. That was super cringe. Not so sure I'll build another one of them, but it was fun for the time. I am gonna hopefully do something with Maxwell. Car looks like, I don't know, it looks like it's got teeth. Now I want to put a tongue on there. I don't think it could work too well though. So I'm gonna need some lights. I feel like there are probably more vintage styled lights I could use. They don't actually look too bad. I mean, it is an E-type and they look kind of like what it would have originally come with as an E-type. But yeah, this is not the E-type Jaguar would have built, and perhaps for good reason. It's also on hard tyres, so it's not even on sports tyres. Couldn't give me that luxury. I mean, it is more normal than others, though. The interior is going to be a pain. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the dark blue, though, it's like Core 2 Duo colours, so I just love this blue and chrome together, which is kind of what the Core 2 Duos were like in 2008. There's actually, like, modern bucket seats. There's these, actually, Classic 01. There's an armrest on there, though. Do you have to get that? I could just put modern Land Cruiser seats in. Kind of throw a spanner in the works. I know bucket seats would probably work a bit better, though. I'll see what he's got. Like, if he's got a race interior, then I have an excuse to go with full-out racing slicks. I think, actually, what this blue is reminding me of it. Yeah. Yeah, the modern Land Cruiser seats, they probably wouldn't fit all that well. This is, you see, this is the issue we have. Like, the transmission tunnel is massive because off-road, and then we've got no space to actually put the seats in. And then the ladder frame pushes that up as well. This is not ideal. I mean, what I might do, I might just raise the roof a little more. It's going to look completely gawky, for lack of a better word, but if it fits seats in somewhat. So, seats. Apparently this is making like 450 horsepower. in something that looks like this. It's scary. So I think we can go... I think that's supposed to go on that side because of where the seatbelt mount is. And we've got something in the passenger seat there. This, maybe if I tilt it... I could have like a heavily tilted seat. I think you can just get the seat backs. Yes, the seat back. And then maybe if I try and work with this and use it this way. So that's a way of mounting it. Just tilt it back loads. I mean, it's just strange. It also has an automatic roof. Yeah, I mean, it could, honestly, it could be retro styled, but I don't know. It's like, why would anyone build a car on cross-ply tyres if it wasn't actually from this time period? It's just, some things just don't make sense. Leaf springs as well. And more importantly, the front suspension, like, so much of this just doesn't make any kind of sense. There was something I was going to check. Oh, yeah, the interior. So it's 1,600 kilos. I believe it has some kind of 4x4 setup. So we've got electric power steering. It wasn't totally cruel. We've got a luxury interior, apparently. So I have to work in a luxury interior. Yeah, I don't know. I seem to have, like, happened to like French cars. I know a fair amount about French cars. I think I know a bit about French cars and English cars. Older English cars. I'm not sure what I'd say is my favourite, but I feel like I know about those countries a bit more. French cars just did some very strange things, which I actually quite like because strange things are interesting. Maybe if I go and like move that up the seat. I don't know about that. I'd have to just pretend it's not happening and put my head in my hands and like pretend that part of it isn't actually happening. So maybe if I tilt them a little more. Oh, it's not letting me grab that now. There, it's the seat's sticking through the ground. So far, so normal. I'd have to see if I could remove any of these bits. Maybe these ones. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's like my French car, my Citroen, they did do some strange things with that. It's like the steering wheel stays the middle of the steering wheel stays still when you turn. I actually do really like it though. It makes the car feel more special. But yeah, a lot of strange things happened over the years. I mean, I don't think newer French cars are quite as crazy. But some of the older ones with the hydraulics and everything, which I actually partly bought that car because it's got the hydraulic suspension, which is more reliable than the alternative air suspension, which could have existed. Okay, so with the exhaust, I've got an idea to stop this, like, intruding on the cabin space. Not so sure how it's going to work, but the car looks crazy anyway. Why not go the extra step of having the exhaust in an unusual place? I think they need to point it away. Yes. I have been looking at getting the server set up with all these randomised vehicles. I'm thinking there's stuff I need to do to like protect the IP address and everything, but there is ways I could set a server up. Yeah. I mean, the only one I could think of is like the Citroen C5 Aircross had a few crazy things, but when you see my C5, like, it's nothing like it. Mine looks sensible on the outside, but it's like, there's so much more going on with it. It also had, like, the concave rear windscreen on the saloon, but I don't have that version. And, I mean, that's, like, what German company would ever do that? It's far too eccentric. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm kind of eccentric, so it matches up to who I am somewhat. I mean, I don't know. I made a cutesy avatar. It's not like manly at all. But I like doing cutesy things. So, they're the indicators we got because they're working. Oh yeah, I think I remember the Citroen Ami. What was, I don't think it was the Ami, but there was one, it was like a fiberglass bodied 2CV, saloon, sedan type vehicle. I found them quite interesting when I found out about them. Because I was looking at like unusual fiberglass vehicles and that came up and it's like, that's interesting. So they tried to build like a premium 2CV. And I feel like many people just don't even know it exists. I certainly didn't for a while. Could go with some chrome around there. But I kind of like the look to be fairly smooth, for lack of a better term. Now, has this sorted the exhaust? Why is the exhaust still going to the back? I put exhausts there. Okay, like, surely it could route them there. I could try closing and reopening the car. I mean, there are some more unusual ones I'll probably try and build. Once I've got the base design of that, I'll probably move on to this, which is a lot more obscure. For now, I'll just get the base design of this done, and then I will probably do some more fun stuff later on. But the base design gives me something to work with. It was hard enough, though. This car is just wild. It doesn't look as wild as it actually is. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't... They didn't call it the 2CV sedan, but it was that, basically, and made of fiberglass as well. I can't remember the name, but it did exist. I think they did it to sell in the UK specifically. I'm not sure exactly why the UK needed a fiberglass one, but... yeah, I think that was, like, the target audience. So that might be why, because they made it for this country. It's easily understandable that it wouldn't be well heard of outside its target country. Okay, I've sorted the exhaust somewhat. It's no longer up. That's some exhaust there. I said the exhaust was sorted and then it's like going straight through the cabin. I'll have to remove these ones because if it's going to do that. There we go. Like, that's a nice clean exhaust. Doesn't intrude as much as it could. I mean, I'm kind of not sure I want to continue trying to build this just because the transmission tunnel and everything is so messy. But I should, honestly. So there are cylinders and such. Now I probably want the, well, half cylinder I would say. And it's not loading it in. Yeah. More obscure French cars. I mean, I think there was the Citroen XM Estate Wagon Tourer. I don't know if there's a million different terms for them. I think there was that. And there was, I think, a Citroen BX as well that had that version. But I think that looks wild. I'll have to try and check. So, there was a DS one, actually. No, I think the BX isn't as strange. It's the DS one I was thinking of. Just check it brings it up. There was one. Yeah, it's Citroen. There was like a DS wagon. There was one really crazy one I can't remember somewhere along the lines. Some Peugeot or Citroen, and it was just absolutely wild looking for just an estate. I do also know the Peugeot 50... No, not 505. The Peugeot, what was it? 405 had... Estate, specifically, had hydraulic rear suspension. So, that was... At least on certain trims, it had hydraulic rear suspension. So, I always found that fascinating. Like, it's not a Citroen, but they gave it a Citroen thing. I mean, there's a few English cars in there as well. Not so much, though. So, I think I need some tail lights of some description, but what? These ones, somewhere along these might work. I think these ones. It looks like it's, I don't know what that looks like and it scares me. The car is always watching. No one can escape the car. You know, that was such a crazy movie. Okay, that's a way of doing it. There's no engine in the back. What can I add to finish this off? Hi, Elena. This is not as cursed, but it is weird. I'm probably not gonna build another meme vehicle. Because that thing still scares me, but yeah. This is one I've been working on this stream. Just getting it kind of worked. There was a Miku one, yeah. I can bring that up from the last video I did. I kind of finished it. It wasn't perfect. My avatar is also a Miku. Flying Miku now. Yeah, it took a while to load in. That's what I did last time. Yeah, I mean, the car, it was like crazy, but it was also kind of funny. But I always think of that when I build an absolute monstrosity. It's like no one can escape the car, and particularly that meme vehicle thingy, that rejected villain supercar. That always reminds me of it. So I think with this I can make it softer sprung, because it's not super tire grip or anything. I think if I make this softer, I can try and like lean into the whole off-roadery type idea. So, reduce the rear sway bars. I mean, drivability is pretty high. But it's like the trailer of that. It's always like the car is there. No one can escape the car. There's no driver in the car. I don't know. It sounds a lot corny when I say it. But yeah, it was gloriously insane. There's also a remake, which I have on Blu-ray, or not remake, a remaster, which is in I think it's in 4K, if I remember correctly. This seems to be liking, at least Sportiness likes this car being quite firmly sprung. I mean, I do want to do some other stuff. Like, I can finish this car. I don't have to work on it all at once. But I can, return. Yeah, honestly, the Miku car, I look back on it and I'm like, I could have done a better job of Miku. But at the same time, it's automation. It's not like I'm making Miku in an actual program. Yeah, deep 70s American voice. Yeah, I can't really do a deep voice. My voice is not that deep. And there would now be a battle royale. I'm going to throw the avatars before the battle royale. I'm not very good at throwing the avatars. This is, yeah, okay, this is what I'm more interested in, because the wheel really went to town with this car. So basically, what I got a longitude, well, I got a unitary aluminium chassis. So far, so normal. And then it was a galvanized steel chassis. Front longitudinal engine layout, okay, not insane so far. And then it goes with solid axle coil on the front. Okay, interesting. And then what's the next thing it does is like torsion beam on the back. And having the torsion beam on the back means this car is going to be longitudinal front wheel drive with coil springs on the front. So yeah, this car is very, very unrealistic, I would say, but also kind of makes sense. This body allows me to fit absolutely gargantuan tyres, and also it fits a lot of engine in the front. Like if I remove the bonnet, yeah, that is a 5-litre V8, sorry, mounted longitudinal, sending power to the front. It's also a 5-valve engine. Very interesting engine by wheel standards. I wonder if I could tune this to make more power, because I have got it. I'm not sure how much work I put into it. Probably put a bit of work into it. But it's making 400 horsepower. Now it's making more than 400. I mean, this car is just an absolutely wild attempt. No idea what Wheel Coon was trying to do, but... yeah. I mean, I did this stream on the other channel yesterday, where I had the Wheel Writer story, basically. And the Wheel Coon actually made himself one of the villains, which I find amusing. Like, the villain... I think it was, like, the villain, a wizard, which I called Wizard Turncoat, and a, what was it, Queen? Who are all, like, the villains in the story. But the Wheel put itself as, like, a self-insert as the villain. So, yeah. The Wheel kind of is self-aware that it's actually the evil one here. So we've got a compact header. I could probably change engine proportions a little. But I don't know, because I want it to rev out somewhat. I don't want it to be completely restricted for revs. We have dual exhausts on there. Wait, did I win? No. We can always ask Sakura who cheated. I mean, that is a feature. So, okay, this is what I'm going to get. I think I've got like an extra 2 horsepower, which I'll take. Oh, we can go with a different header. Let's hope that fits in the car, because it looks cool to me. But it does take up more space, so if that doesn't fit, I will change it back. I think it does. It fits in the car. Okay, that's excellent. Oh, you know what this needs? Rally lights. Of course, it needs rally lights. Probably going to have to, yeah, I'm going to have to go in 3D mode with this. I just saw it, though. Like, he's got rally lights on this, on one of these mods, so I'm going to use them. Because we always need some rally lights in our sports cars. Well, I don't know if this is a sports car. It seems more of a GT to me. I think this is going to be better. I think it's on, like, medium tyres. Medium radials, even. So they're definitely not the worst tyres you can get. Sakura, did everyone cheat? Yeah, I definitely didn't cheat, though. I mean, I can say that much. I didn't cheat to make myself lose, so it makes me look better for all the times I cheated and won. That's definitely not the case. I do actually think I need to roll some colours for this car as well. Like, as I say, this one's fun because it's strange, but it could still handle. And it could still, like, look good as well. So it's like an overinflated Beetle as it currently looks, like the Volkswagen new Beetle. It's just like that, but it's massively overinflated. It's heavy as well. It's 2.1 tons, but it's not the heaviest thing it's built by any means. I wanted an older American type body, but fitting the engine in the front is always the issue here. Definitely not. Ah, that's good to know. Sakura is defending me. I mean, Sakura is totally telling the truth and that I definitely didn't cheat. Okay, I think I adjusted chassis tunnel, so... I think we have got rear downforce, but not... No, we've got front and rear downforce. That's excellent. Because I did just throw some parts on it, as according to the wheels prompt. Yeah, you have a new Beetle design. It's also 2.1 tons. What it might be, what it actually makes me think of is the Volkswagen Corrado, because that was supposed to be, I believe, a little more luxurious than the Golf. So it's kind of like the Corrado and the Beetle crashed into each other, and then this is a child that they created. It's a very strange being. And for some reason, Volkswagen used live axle coil on the front. What makes it funnier is, though, the suspension on the back is actually, like, something Volkswagen would have used in the past, so yeah, it's a very weird design, whether it's the Beetle or otherwise. Now I can bring up the wheel. Did I I don't know. It's like, oh, so it's because I minimized Chrome. It kind of closed that. That's a bit strange. Closed it on OBS because I minimized Chrome. We do need to generate a couple of colours anyway. Oh, is that like... that's... I don't know if that's a poopy colour. I can't quite tell. No, that's more of a gold colour. It looked a bit different. I could, you know, I could just turn this into like some super tacky piece of automotive jewellery. Like some people have those cars and they have diamond headlights and everything just to show off. I could turn it into that. That blue is actually bluish like purple. That's actually quite a nice colour. I quite like that one. So... yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to turn it into... you know what I could do? I could have this purple colour and I could just have, like, tacky gold trim on everything. Yeah. I mean, I think what I'm going to do... because I believe it's actually, like, Mr. Burns' car in Simpsons Hit and Run, and it just has, like, gold trim everywhere. Because he has money, so we have to all know. Yes, a suitably tacky... amount of gold. The purple is nice as well. Like, I can make the gold a little more chromy as well. I don't think there's any like rules against that. Well, I make the rules, but anyway, I can just like remove the flake, maybe. No. Oh, increasing the flake loads kind of makes it look good. Don't know. Do I want like 50%? 50% makes it look like fake gold. $67 on the gold. Sure, I'm going to use 67% flake because it seems to work. Tacky and unethical things. Yes, exactly. Yeah, the purple would work in a 70s European car. That is correct, although... I don't know if it will work on this. I'm going to have to try. So, we can change the bumper colour. I don't think that's going to... oh, you know what? I could redo a glass roof. I don't think it'll work as well on here, though, as it did on the Miku Mobile. So... it's got a gold carpet, apparently, now. So that's something. Let's see, miscellaneous paint. Ooh. More chance to add gold, perhaps. Could add a gold roof. Yes. Excellent. Extra tackiness. It's gold inside as well. So this is some quote one. What was that, the like and subscribe one, or does it work? Yeah, the, for the gold, I used 67% on the, flake, which actually kind of works. Can't quite explain why. Ah, so yeah, you have to add the quotes, apparently. For some reason, I don't know. It either didn't add it or register it. I don't know. There was also the other comedic quote I said in automation, which is like, I have a fun body, because you can take it out of context and everything. It just sounds strange. Okay, so we need more gold. Gold fog lights, yes. I think these can be more of a chromey colour, because it's the inside of the lights, so... that's like the bolts. We can have gold bolts. I think, do we have there's window glass? If I add some glass here, like I did before... I know that was a bulb, not bolts. So we have to add some kind of headlights here. I know that changes everything. I think they'll have to be chrome then, just because it changes the insides as well. So I don't think you can see the gold. That's going to have to work, just via the overall nature. Can change the glass as well. I don't know if these will actually light up, but I can try. Go with a little darker look maybe on the glass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should work. Wait, is you might have to add for the quote to work. Oh yeah, quote one does work. I'm just being dumb. Yay! Thank you. I now have a quote. I feel like there's all kinds of things that could be said in there though, with them, like all kinds of crazy stuff. I should get stream elements. I think you can do stuff there. There's also like I believe there's also an 8-ball there. So I can have like 2 8-balls and have them fight each other. If I do that, ooh, that actually kind of works with it. It's like, hey guys, I'm cool. I think they're too low. I don't know why these lights actually kind of work. This way up. It's the Beatles' even cooler brother. Then I think I can, yeah, there's different ones. I think they work a little better. Sakura isn't a lie. I mean, I don't think it would work, would it? But, I was going to say it would be funny if you could get, like, a quote that summons Sakura. But I don't think that's ever going to work with how it's set up. There is a slant nose grill, which I believe is the Porsche. I use this one far too much, but it kind of just generally works. I feel like this car is planning something. Got there eventually. This car is definitely scheming and planning something. It's also got a lot of lights. I think there was like, was it Renault 5 in Forza or something? You could just put a dumb amount of rally lights on it. I think if I make this smaller. So we have got to position that. It doesn't seem to want to go any lower down. Like, I'm trying, but it's always like making it larger. Okay, I think that's like kind of fitting. Not quite, though. There we go. No, it's still, like, sticking out a little. This squirrel, as it turns out, is a little strange in how it fits. Yeah, I mean, the Renault 5 I was thinking of, it's like the 80s one. I think 1980 in Forza. I'm not thinking of a new one, though, but it was in there, but I can actually hide that grill and still get downforce. I mean, I'm not sure I like how this is. Actually, I mean, if I make that smaller, I can kind of tie it in. I think there's a way. Like, if I had a lip below it, which I had, maybe not so much this lip, I don't know. I think there's better lips to add underneath it. But this would give me downforce and kind of like round off the design all at the same time. Yeah, that kind of works. This car is a thing. I just messed that up by moving it. I mean, I don't know. It's like, I don't know what it's planning. Yeah, the 80s one, I don't know, because I think it was like sold from the early 70s until the 90s here. It was sold for quite a while. And then it was replaced by the original Renault Clio. It's just the one in Forza is the 1980 Rally one from Group B, I believe it was. Unless it's a different rally group and I'm completely missing the obvious. Am I just doing a Citroen with this and giving it a mustache? I feel like I might be. Because my car has a mustache. You can see it's a bit of a wild design, but they actually did give that car a mustache in its design. Well, that's a grill. I feel like I just need to add a gap here and then it'll work. Can make that upside down. Then make that transparent. Change the colour of that to chrome. There we go. You can now see into the engine. Yeah, Citroen. I call it Citroen. Yeah, it has got 6 eyes. You know what? I think we need more. Eat a Citroen. I mean, I don't know if it's possible. You could probably eat a hubcap. I don't know. I don't have hubcaps. It's got 6 alloys because I upgraded to smaller. Because they're just generally better for comfort and cheaper tyres. The pieces I need to put inside the grill, they've got to be somewhere. There we go. I'll go with some mesh, I think. If I can make that a little shallower, make that, no, make it deeper and then it will fit. Okay, that's a way of sorting it. Now it has a grill to feed this engine with air, which it will, I feel, need a lot of. And we can make it tacky and gold, naturally. Wait, does that let me... Yes, extra gold. Wait, I've just realised I've not made that gold. That should be gold. Trying to make this as tacky as possible, but I keep going trying to actually make it look good. And extra gold. There we go. Could try and like bring these up. That will do. Kind of gets worse the closer you look, but anyway. See you, Revo. I don't know if Elena, if you're going. I don't know. I get confused easily. The massive splitter here. I don't know if I want to keep that. Like, it doesn't need any ventilation in the back. I could put like, ooh, I know what I can put on it. There's kind of like a massive bonnet scoop I used on the Toasty. Oh, hi again, Revo. Yeah, I can add something. I don't need like a massive scoop because the engine doesn't need hiding, but I can try and put something here. There we go. Like, I use this on the toasty wheels. And in the right application, if you just want something to look totally wild, it can help. Extra ventilation as well, yes. From a visual perspective, I kind of like how crazy this is. Like, it's not my best work in terms of beauty, but I think it looks decently wild. And that's something. How it opens, we don't know. Probably the other way. Because that's like blocking how the hinge would work. I mean, it's powerful, but not for the weight. So that's the other thing. The 5.8 second 0 to 60 with a automated manual 5 speed. That could have been a lot worse. So, it does almost 200 miles per hour, apparently. It's like, why would a company make these decisions? It just doesn't make sense. So if I, comfort gets higher, actually, there, without affecting the other stuff too much. So I can soften up the front a little. Might work out. With refinement and stuff. Just a little firmer. So the front dampers are also hard, apparently. Okay, I think softening up the front end of this hasn't hurt it. Can make the overall setup firmer. I kind of want to do something crazy with Maxwell's and stuff, but this car is like the best I can use to get crazy setups with, I feel. So we've got 4.6. I don't know how the rear should factor in for the roll and stuff. Like, this is a completely wild setup. It's also on off-road sway bars. Not sure how that's going to work out. So it looks like the rear does want to be firmer. Kind of makes sense. Stiffening up the back suspension. I feel like power could be an issue on this, but I don't know. It's not on the best tyres, so maybe it's going to help having the thing in balance. So the rear dampers are hard. I can just try the springs, stiffening them up. It makes enough sense, though, this car is like a little firmer on the back, just because of the overall nature of it being front-wheel drive and stuff. Probably want less rear sway? I don't know. I mean, they're totally different suspensions, so I'm going to try and, like, align them, but not too sure how it's going to work out. Sportiness is actually really quite good, so can't complain too much about that. Okay, a bit of stiffness there. This is as low as it will go also, 430mm off the ground. It has actually got a lot of suspension travel, but I've managed to like lower it with the settings and stuff so it doesn't look too ridiculous. I think I managed to make it look fairly low, but still, as I say, it's just like a Beetle. It's like a ginormous Volkswagen Beetle. I'm pretty sure it's based on like a Mercedes S-Class of some kind, but it doesn't look like it. Compromises were made. I kind of want to make the engine make more power. I feel like it should be able to, but I don't know. I could try, I think I might have changed the, proportions of the unit. Yeah, they're not that ridiculous. I don't know how much power would be in that, and if it makes it rev lower. So what does it take to, I wonder what does it take to make this. No, I'm changing variant capacity. That's the wrong figure to change. Like, if I can raise that up without losing high RPM output. Not output, higher RPM, peak RPM. If I can keep that at like 7,700, I should be good. Oh no, the crank. The crank runs into issues before the conrods do, surprisingly enough. I wonder if I can use the, because this is never going to be a light engine. Can I use the counterweights to, like, raise the chances? 50, 13. Okay, so... So that just about holds it, and I'm making, I think, a little more power just by changing the size of the engine. Trying to run as little counterweight weight as possible. Because I'm going to need to use a little extra weight to just... Yeah, there we go. Just keep the RPMs up without the engine blowing up at higher RPMs. And I feel just changing the size proportions a little. Still just under 5 litres, but... I feel like this may work out for me. It also does 22 miles per gallon, which for the weight is actually genuinely impressive. And what I think is a naturally aspirated V8 is actually quite impressive. So we are making a lot of torque and a lot of power. Yeah, so 402.8. I mean, I've not made a lot more power, but the thing is making more power than it was previously. So I think that's an advantage. What's the RPM? The RPM is at 7,600. Okay. Fuel map, 56. No, 54. I think it might like a lower fuel map, just to match everything else. I feel like I've gained like half a horsepower with all this work. But it's a heavy thing. I want it to have as much power as I can realistically get from it. I feel like an actual... Honestly, I feel like a 1.8 litre Beetle would probably be faster than this. It's just... It probably wouldn't, but I get that feeling just by how wildly overweight this thing is for a front-wheel drive. So kind of thing, it might work in a high-end super saloon, super luxury saloon or something like that. I will have to give the engine a run and see how decent it sounds. Yep. It has my old issue of making an incredibly quiet, refined V8 when I just want power. Somehow that happens with me. So, I feel like adding a massive vent into the back. I can call it brake cooling and try and make sense of it. Although in reality I just wanted a big vent for the looks. I think this one actually allows me to add some tacky gold trim on it as well. Just what everyone needs. Will that work? It's like, I'm trying to go with a Ferrari style vent and I don't think it's working. How does the second one line up? There's a blocked off vent. I don't think that's going to be much use for anything, even brake cooling. So, yes, we need the tacky gold trim. All of the tacky gold trim. This car has to remind you that whoever owns it is extremely rich. Yes, we need gold trim on the door handles. Mustn't forget that. Wherever gold trim will go, gold trim will be. I love how it's got just like upside down Ford Escort headlights or something. And I'm going to put gold everywhere just to make it seem more expensive. No one will know, they're just reused Ford. Yeah, it is working. I mean, I think it works, it just doesn't make as much power as I would like. It's not awful, but there is, there's far better cars in real life. Ooh, Mustang. Mustang lights, yes. Come on, I want to put Ford Mustang lights on it. I think they are Mustang lights. These will need a little bit of chrome, not chrome, sorry, gold. Gold trim around the edges. Because how will anyone know we are extremely well off if we don't have gold on our car? I mean, it is mandatory at this point. So, I mean, that actually does look half decent. Could have looked a lot worse. It looks sad. The thing looks very sad at the back. It's like, please save me. He just locks me in a garage and doesn't do anything with me. I was promised I would have a more enjoyable life. What way is this for a car to live? I feel like I should just also put plastic on, like an actual expensive car. I just have plastic somewhere with no explainable reason, just like a massive lump of plastic. Even though you've paid millions for a car. So we have glossy plastic. No, but we do need gold. Like, if this doesn't have gold, people might forget you're extremely rich, and that's not something that we can allow to happen. So we'll mirror that. Yeah, I mean the rear does kind of look normal, but honestly, I've not had to do all kind of cheesy stuff with the engine to actually get it to fit, so that will probably help. I feel like that's rotated. I don't know, maybe it isn't. I mean, it does need to be extremely tacky though, because that's how all things are. I think there is a way to import textures, so yeah. Yeah, the car's made by the wheel and designed by me. They're perfect. I mean, some of them are actually just decent looking, and then there's the cursed ones come along. They do all need Maxwell's though. I mean, hey, I built an entire kitchen. That Maxwell's camper must be happy with me for that. Because I built a thing with an entire kitchen inside it. There we go. Now, here is where the genius comes in. Between here, we're just going to have a huge lump of plastic because just because it's an expensive car doesn't mean we can't use plastic. In fact, that gives us an excuse to use even more plastic. So we're going to use these because they're convenient. They're also not wanting to go in the position I try and put them in. There we go. Oh, I almost had it too. And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling game. So this can be plastic, as I say. Yes. Because sportiness, it gets an incredible amount of plastic. I mean, there will be a lot of cheese done with this car to, like, cheese out of doing things properly. I mean, I feel like if I could put cheese in the actual car, That might work. Like, if I could put a piece of cheese in the car. Yes. There we go. The car still looks sad, but we've managed to put a massive lump of plastic on an expensive car. Just like in real life. I mean, I think Ferraris have it, like, between the headlights now. So, we're just copying for... Ooh, Lamborghini Countach ring. Yes. That's got carbon fibre on, though. We need plastic or something. I don't know. We need plastic with, like, gold trim on the edge. Now, that just isn't working. Like, that tears through the ring. Ooh, yes. Sporty, I guess, sort of. I think I need a curved wing to match the bodywork. There we go. I do not know what this wing is off, but it appears to be working. As long as it works, we don't ask questions. Because I said so. Yeah, so if I move it too far back, it like starts cutting through the bodywork. I think that's fine. And we can naturally sneak some trim in, I would say. No, it's all one piece. I thought you could sneak it on like the little legs there. I can't put gold there. I could just make the whole wing gold, honestly. Excellent, yes. All the tackiness. Just put like a... you know what? If I could get like the wheel logo, but made of gold, I think that would be perfect. So I don't know if any of these are colorable. I think I can make them yellow, which I'm gonna have to say is close enough to gold at this point. Yeah, so that's a 0. I'm gonna try and like remake a super tacky version of the wheel logo. This is not high res. Oh well. That doesn't quite work. So we've got that needs to be mirrored. Where is it? There's a mirror feature. And it's not letting me add anything. It's not letting me like click off it. Do we actually have these things at Walmart? Because I feel like this has got too much gold for a Walmart vehicle. Unless there are like people who just have them to like show off. Like, look, I spent more money on my car. I think they do have those trucks in America where they like have the hyper luxurious trucks, and people just buy them not to actually use them as trucks, but to say they have something expensive. So that should where's it gone? I mean, no, it's not showing up at all. That's a bit strange. No, that doesn't seem to like enter it in at all. Unless I use the default 0 character. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's like, I don't know what, I think trucks are like popular over there because it's like, they had them for a long time or something. That's what I would guess. So, that's the only way I could like try and explain it, because it's like they've been around for a while, and somehow the manufacturers managed to turn them into status symbols. I don't know, it never used to be that way. They used to be work vehicles. Now, can these work? This is going to be like a very tacky knockoff version of it. Now, I think I need to use the actual 90-degree thing. There we go. I mean, there's also like the old theory that, or idea that people who are genuinely rich don't actually buy expensive stuff. So, I don't know. I guess I have some money, but I don't spend it on cars and stuff. I just have my Citroen and I love it. Did some research on that to find out a lot of the mechanicals and stuff. So, yeah, I think this is actually getting somewhere. I can move on to the interior soon and do something crazy. But I think I'll have a sunroof just to make this more expensive looking. Could have like a fully opening one. What's the MGR? That is actually not too badly fitting. That actually does match the roofline fairly well. So we have different angles and stuff of these. I mean, maybe it's supposed to be like a roof and not an actual full car roof, or if you want to mess with the whole fixtures and stuff. But I think this will work as a sunroof, honestly. So if we've got that, there is the edge and that. I think, like, I made a glass colour and that's probably going to work a little better. There we go. So I think now we can go and make the windows a little more transparent, the main windows. Like, I'd say that works fairly well. It's got to have more front lights though. I keep forgetting we need more headlights. We can't be beaten by that first car I built. We have to have all of the lights here. We've got to make sure that people notice this car is coming and that people notice someone rich is near them. Because if they don't notice someone rich is near them, I don't know. That would not do at all. I don't know if I can go with that. If I can go with like that kind of like foggy material, for lack of a better term. I don't think it'll let me. Ah, all fixtures, is that going to work? That kind of works. One of these will probably work. Ah, there we go. So that works. Like, it's not even got proper modern lights. How many lights is that? So that's like 9, 10, 11. I guess more of us like other lights in that cluster. 12. So we've got at least 13 headlights. You know what? I'm not sure that's enough. I'm not sure 11 headlights is enough to let people know how rich we are. We need even more than that. Nah, that's not working. We need to really show people that this owner of this car is extremely well off. There we go. And it does need, I think it does need indicators on the front. I think they're in the cluster. So if all the headlights are on, you probably won't notice the indicators. That's fine. Rich people don't need indicators. People just move out of the way because they're rich. So, yeah. Because you're rich, people move out your way anyway. It doesn't matter if you don't have indicators. I think, could go with a third brake light. That, or just one indicator that, like, goes off in the middle. And you're supposed to know whether which people are going to turn. Like, you're just supposed to naturally know. So, I mean, this one should do. But you're supposed to just look at this indicator, and because the guy has a lot of money, you know where he's going to turn. Like, he paid for a white to not need 2 indicators. Could come up with some, like, weird explanation, like, having 2 indicators is for poor people. I don't know. There we go. I think that's a good idea. Wait, a bling bling boy. I think I remember that from somewhere. I'll have to look it up. Because I can't remember exactly. I think it was in some cartoon or something. Yeah, that guy. It's just, they've just got the massive necklace to show off how rich he is. Yeah, I mean, he probably would. Oh, no, this is probably what his family owns, honestly. He talked his father into buying this because it was more expensive, and it would prove to everyone else that he is the true rich guy. I keep obsessively saving. So, we're going to need seats as well, and an interior, but how are we going to make these seats look unnecessarily expensive? That's the true question here. Make them out of, like, solid gold. It doesn't matter if they're comfortable. Oh, actually, there is green as well. Like, green is the dollar colour. So I could try and work green in. It can't be like the it can't be like the main colour, but I could easily work it as in the interior as like one of the secondary colours, as long as it's got like the gold and the blue. But then again, I have used it a lot on the exterior, so I could just put a green interior on, as I have already used the colours that the wheel has requested of me. So it's not like I'm just cheating it out of its required gold and light blue colour. And it's not responding again on the designer. How quick can this be? Actually, if I lower the first gear, I might be able to get it quicker. Or maybe not, I don't know. So, 5.9. 5.8. Yeah, I'm just losing speed by trying to put tighter early gear ratios on, which should make it quicker. But it isn't, which is strange, to say the least. 5.7. I can actually make these gears very long. Or at least the first gear very long. Which concerns me about how this thing isn't going to grip. Because if a first gear can be this long and it doesn't lose any acceleration... Like, if you can get the first gear taking you all the way up to 70 miles per hour without changing gear, that usually means the wheels are just spinning and not putting any power down. 47 meters braking. I've seen worse. I've seen worse for heavier vehicles. I think I should adjust these. Should adjust, like, the tyres for that, perhaps. I don't want them to be too small, though, because large wheels are expensive, so we have to have somewhat of a large set of wheels. 48.2. 48.3. Okay, so... I know, I think it's a brake size as well, so I think 20 inches are fine. I think I just have to make the brakes larger. .47. Okay, I think that's about as good as I'm going to get the braking performance from this vehicle. I mean, I've seen worse braking performance on these randomised builds, so I won't complain too much. It's not great, but it could have been worse. You know, that's how we know we've built a good car. When we use a term, it could have been worse. What kind of interior do we want on this, I wonder? Okay, it's only got a standard interior. But you know what? Even though the interior isn't going to be particularly fancy, I think if we make it, if we give it enough design cues to, like, say, this interior is expensive, yeah, I think people are gonna believe it's actually an expensive interior. So just, like, make the entire dashboard green or something. Because money. It's also got a 8-track entertainment system. It doesn't even have a cassette player. But which people don't actually need music. So that's fine, you know. Which people don't actually need to listen to music. Music is for poor people. that's the excuse we're sticking with. So, gonna need some floors. I might make these, I can't even say might. I might make these green. Just like green floorboards. Imagine if I made like the actual floorboards out of wood. that would be a very 1920s thing to do. I don't know if I could change the chassis tunnel size. It is front wheel drive, so there shouldn't be a whole lot going back there. I quite actually like this vehicle. It's got its own oddities, but as far as these vehicles go, I mean, it is thematic. It kind of works together. So, I think if I lower that... I mean, if that's... I don't know, that should work. There's a bit sticking through it. I don't think that'll be too noticeable. But I don't know. Like, I get obsessed with this stuff. I feel like it needs a good name. Like, what would a rich person actually want to own? I wonder. Drivable jewelry. I don't know. Drivable bling. Like, I think that's a suitable name. So I can adjust all this stuff. I feel like we need a lot of Maxwells because nothing proves you're expensive like keeping a lot of Maxwells captive in your vehicle. We've got yeah, the chassis tunnel size. Okay, I can make that smaller. Now, that can be quite small. As I say, there's actually no drive shaft going to the back. There's just like a couple of exhausts. So as long I can just make that as small as it'll possibly allow me, and it should all work together. I mean, it kind of starts eating itself if I go too small. That's fine, though. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think the game lets me do it, but if I could get a solid gold Maxwell, that would be perfect. A solid gold Maxwell. Because nothing says you're rich like making a Maxwell out of solid gold. I mean, people won't ask any questions at that point. They'll just be like, that guy has a solid gold Maxwell. He must be rich. So, can we move that in? I don't know. Yeah, I think if I, like, stretch that a little outwards. Something like that, perhaps. If I mirror this, I should be able to get it working a little more easily. There we go. So, I could actually move... No, I don't think... I was going to say, I think I could move the front firewall forward. I think the way automation has it set up, it's not really possible. Just it was an idea to gain more cabin space, but I don't think it would pan out too well. Maybe if I, yeah, like if I rise that up, covers the central tunnel quite nicely. This music is very creepy. I don't know, I can go on the next one. When the rich person realises he's lost all his money. Have we got... I think we've got dual exhausts. So that should work. It's not letting me grab anything. There's our one-wheel indicator. The necessary addition. So, it's got positive rear downforce. And all too much on the front. Or too much lift on the front, should I say. So... I mean, I could try adding more downforce to the front. That just makes the back end lift off, which is even worse. So we've got... okay, that'll work. Why is everyone getting put in the slots now? Is it because... oh no. Kicking the machine again, I see. Just because Darken didn't win. So now the machine gets kicked. What did that slot machine do other than being rigged? I mean, honestly. It's not like... cheese. Yes, cheese. Free cheeses and what else is definitely an exotic type of cheese. But definitely cheese, no less. So, unless it's kitchen sponge charm. I don't know. Yeah, I like that joke that literally any sponge is kitchen sponge charm. Mirrors. Now, we need mirrors that are going to shout, I have money. Solid gold mirrors, I think. Well, it says 2000s luxury. That's the kind of term I like to see when I'm spending a load of money on a car. I mean, it won't pivot. Don't know what's going on with these mirrors. I can position them in place, but we're not having an easy time with it. Getting rich by being a jerk to the machine, indeed. The machine... What did the machine do, though? Well, I shouldn't need to answer that. The machine just didn't give out money. That's kind of what it did. That's the whole issue with these machines these days. If I can... I think if I do... Yeah, that works. Kind of stretching the mirrors out a little, but I think I can make these work. And naturally, the mirrors have to be solid gold. Forget the fact that solid gold is actually extremely heavy and not necessarily good for a performance car. It looks expensive. And sometimes that's all that matters. And also, no, it has 2 mirrors. I was thinking it only had 1. I mean, that can actually be gold on that side, I think. Or can it? I don't know. I think I need to... Ah, yeah, that'll work. Yeah, I think that works well enough. I would say. No, I don't know. I don't like it. I keep thinking I'm going to change it then, and... Oh, these ones kind of look expensive. Oh, they're big. Yes, they're perfect. Large mirrors represent expensiveness because bigger mirrors are more expensive to make. Pretty sure that's how it works. So if you have very big mirrors on your car, you are going to be very rich indeed. So that can be moved out. Those are some mirrors. And of course I'm going to make them out of gold. I mean, that's a given at this point. It just looks so tacky and I love it for it. I mean, I don't know. I feel like this guy just won at slots and then that's why he's got this car. Because, not because he like earned the money or anything, but just because he's won at the slot machine and he has to let everybody know he's won at the slot machine. Wait, there's extra trim I can add some gold to that I missed. That was dumb. This can be gold. There we go. We can't have aerodynamics unless they look expensive. I think this has exhausts. Does it? Nah, sometimes they don't work. I mean, there is, I'm sure, one or two of these I can get working. I think they should work. Well, one of these should work. This is going to be gold. Don't worry. I am going to make this aerodynamic feature at the back gold because it has to be. We have to constantly remind whoever bought this that they're rich. Almost like they're insecure about not actually being rich. So we can get that. I mean, look, I have followed, honestly, I have followed what the wheel told me to do. Yeah, he's won once. No, you know, when he loses, this is actually what ends up in the casino, you know, where they, like, win this car. They, like, repossess this, and then this thing ends up in the casino on the stand, like, win this car. Because that was the only way that, like, he could, that's the only way he could, survive, by selling them the car that he'd spent all his winnings on. Law is being created. Wait, it's the dollar wheels. I have to see, because I remember there may have actually been dollar wheels in this game as a mod, and if ever there was a time to use them, I'll just go and scroll through. There's teddy bear wheels. Not quite, but there is teddy bear wheels. I wouldn't like the gold dollar sign because it's like it's perfect for this car. I do remember though seeing one. I should have it downloaded if it's a thing in this game. Otherwise, failing that, I can just go with teddy bear wheels. Imagine if I just gave this like hubcaps and not even alloys. Well, I think according to the wheel it has alloys, but it would be funnier in a way if I gave it hubcaps like it was just some cheap car. I mean, the thing already looks ridiculous, so if I can't find the dollar sign wheels, I'm just going to give it teddy bear wheels. No, I mean, there's teddy bear wheels and then there's one over that looks like it might be amusing. There's those ones. You know what, look, it's like, this isn't just a teddy bear though, on the wheels. This is a gold teddy bear. It's worth a lot of money. And you're not just getting one gold teddy bear, you're getting 4 of them. I just love the lore of this. I kind of don't like the teddy bear wheels, but they're so dumb. And like they can tie into the fact he bought like this car just to get these expensive teddy bear wheels. I think if I change the trim, oh yes, that is just brilliant. Yes, look at that. We can highlight the teddy bear. I mean, I would say, like, give him pink hands or whatever. It would kind of take away from the whole, give him, like, red eyes. Now, what's another expensive colour? I mean, I guess you could say if it's like a diamond colour. A diamond colour could look good. See what I can find. Carbon fibre, yes. Carbon fibre is expensive. So we're going to have a golden carbon fibre teddy bear. Just to show off because it's expensive materials. This is like so cursed. The teddy bear's just like, what did I do to deserve this? What did I do to deserve being put in someone's wheels? So we have the interior. I do need to finish. The floor. The floor can be, as I say, that can be green. Gonna have to go with a cloth interior. I mean, it is a fairly standard interior, but I have to put something on it to make it look more expensive, and I'm gonna do that with a whole bunch of fancy cloths. Do they actually have the tables and they paint them green? Not paint them, they put like green cloth on them in the casinos and stuff. Probably to insinuate you're gonna win something. Now it just looks like a golf course, though. Looks like the inside is a golf course. But I don't hate it. The thing just looks so dumb at this point. 100% and not 10% gold and silver. Now that's gold. It's definitely not like 90% plastic and has no structural integrity whatsoever. So it'll just like snap off when you go around the corner. Well, we definitely haven't painted plastic. It's definitely real gold and not painted plastic. Why would we do that? I mean, it's like, you make it sound like we're just trying to whip off rich people with a subpar vehicle. Oh, we've got like a perfect Maxwell window here, though. That's excellent, at least. So the car does have like one redeeming factor. We've got all kinds of interiors. Now, you do not get a CD player, or even a cassette player. That stuff is too luxurious. And more importantly, poor people like listening to CDs and cassettes. We listen to the sound of engine or something, which the engine doesn't even sound of anything. So, I feel like this could actually work, but it's 90s, so I don't know. The body of this car is very much more 2010s, even 2020s. So, there's got to be something I can add in. Racing seats, I feel like I need seats that look kind of normal, but we need a way of making them look expensive. There is these interior bits. Honestly, there's this pack of like interior bits. I might just use these, I don't know. Or at least try and use them. You're getting an out-of-date interior by like 20 years because luxury, somehow. We just ignore the fact this interior has not been updated in 20 years. The car is expensive, I'm sure they won't notice. They're going to have so many other problems with things breaking on it. It is a real car company vehicle after all. Something is going to break and go wrong. So they won't notice all the tiny issues, because bits will just start breaking off after a year. Or maybe less. So we have got console, whatever that is, that's not what I'm looking for. But this full console, actually, I should have just gone with this to begin with, honestly. So if I go and I make that larger... Like, no one's going to know that this is flawed. It's got too many dollar signs, so no one will actually realise this car is heavily flawed. I think this might be a BMW dashboard. Flaws don't exist for rich people. If you can't see the issues in a car, they don't exist. This is true. There's two ideas actually. It's like if you spend enough money on a car, it naturally doesn't have any issues associated with it whatsoever. And also, flaws don't exist if you're rich enough. That's the other thing. I think I moved the sunroof, not what I was trying to move. I'm going to have to incorporate green somewhere just because green is an expensive colour. Only rich people are actually allowed to have green things. Yeah, teddy bear chairs. I don't think you can get teddy bear chairs. It would be kind of funny. I could put cat ears on the chairs or something of that nature. I mean, I could try and add that much. So there's different dashboards actually here. I've got the BMW one, which I think works well enough. There's a lot of stuff in this pack actually. Oh, those seats, maybe? I don't know. They look like they might be expensive, but also cheap at the same time, if that makes any kind of sense. Or like they're cheaper, but could be made to look very expensive. Can rotate this. Not that way, not that way. I keep clicking the wrong keys to rotate this stuff. Are there like left and right doors, I wonder? I don't think there is. I think I might have used these door cards before though on something else. So if I make these larger... and not grab that properly. I mean, maybe if I do that, no. Wait, actually, I'm just thinking also, the steering wheel isn't actually... If this is sold in America, the steering wheel isn't on the right side. But I have an answer for that. Only poor people drive on the left. This car is for rich people, so... That's how we're explaining it. Rich people don't have to follow laws, including what side of a road you drive on, or what side of a car you drive on. These people are rich, okay, so they're allowed to drive on whatever side of a road they want to. Door card 9, is that... There is probably one somewhere. Door card 1. Okay, that looks like it might work. All of the law. So I think we can mirror this door card, and that should tie in decently well, yeah. I mean, it's not perfect, but rich people don't need perfect fitting trim. Perfect fitting trim is for poor people, and this is a car for rich people. I could just like make gold plastic and green trim everywhere. Like totally not just a spray painted normal interior. So we'll go with plastic. That looks kind of gold. Gonna have to mess with it a little. So we'll go with the roughness maybe. Oh no, if we get down on the roughness, it gets super shiny. So we've got the bumpiness. Can try and make it really bumpy, I don't know. 25 there, and there we go. So this is meant to be gold. Right, well that's yellow, okay, but to rich people, this colour is definitely gold. I'm not about to just admit to our main audience that we just spray painted some normal doors to call them gold. We need some cloth here because luxury, and it's of course going to be green. This thing has kind of ended up being cursed. You can't see those speakers up there, but I'm going to make them green anyway. Actually, maybe I could just make that a little shorter so you can actually see the stuff at the front of the dashboard. I think that'll work. I'm sure they're meant to be green, but they're not showing as green particularly. I don't know. Okay, so on car, green, and all the keys have to be, all the buttons have to be green to remind you are actually extremely rich. There we go. There is a lot of stuff to change colour of here. Gonna have to do something with this. So that's gonna be our yellow colour, I think. Yeah, so that's it for the most part. Look at how expensive this interior looks. It totally doesn't just look like some Chinese knockoff of a Hot Wheels car. There's a lot of coloration that I can change on this dashboard. I think this is alright. Interior pack. Now, we want something that looks expensive. I mean, there is some normalish looking seats. Ooh, bucket seats. Because we can claim these are more expensive than they were. Every bucket seat was made with the finest plastics in existence. The most expensive plastics known to man. And because leather trim is too cheap for us, we made it out of cloth instead. Which is totally the premium option and not the cheap option. So, I don't see any seat belts on this. Can mirror that. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure what I think of this. But it's something. An attempt was made. Maybe it's this one. This one might work better. Probably not though. So that is our that is our interior thus far. There is also, if we drag that back, I think there may be weird ore card. Yeah, I mean, it's green because it's posh, and it's the colour of money, so... Yeah, that's why I've done it. Green is the colour of money, of course. We're going to have to use money-coloured everything. And they won't know that this yellow isn't actually gold. But it's totally gold. So, there's a door card, which has ended up looking green. I mean, I think that should do the job. They don't call it a luxury sport coupe for no reason. I'm beginning to feel where this is low rent even by the standards of like a standard interior. That's a way of going about things. How many seats does this canonically have, I wonder? I think I did sort that out with a wheel. And see how many seats I am allowed. Okay, so we've got 4 seats. Excellent. 4 seats, just like $4 bills. Which is totally not what's left in the owner's bank account after buying this thing. Yes. I mean, it's almost there. Yeah, I think that'll work. All the interior space. I have to save this. I feel like a door card there. I feel like the door card on the top of the dashboard should definitely be green instead of yellow. I can just like see it working better. But for some reason that green just doesn't work. I don't know why. Like, it just doesn't display on the door cards, and I don't know why it actually does that. Gotta redo that. It's just, like, forgotten how to. So I'll have to make another green. Carbon fibre. No, carbon fibre is actually expensive. Hi, Revo. I made the interior of money and gold. It's something. Like, it's green because we have to remind them they have a lot of money. And the yellow is, like, supposed to be gold. But it's plastic, so you can only spray paint plastic and get it so close to gold. But we don't tell them that it's spray painted plastic. They'll never know. So, yeah, I tried cloth green and it just didn't work on these door cards. I think that's like the best one I'll get. So, yeah, we've got that. It's got to have plastic all over the place because you can still get a luxury car with plastic literally everywhere, I am sure. I mean, it said canonically that the wheel said it has to be a standard. Honestly, they would. Like, Mr. Burns would drive this. It's like Mr. Burns' new car. I mean, I called it the drivable bling. I'm not sure if that's like the final name, but you don't actually get speakers there. They're just like plastic. But it's still for rich people because reasons. I could actually just paint these speakers like green. Like, we just didn't even bother adding speakers because we knew our customers were so rich that they didn't actually need speakers to be happy. It was a decision, not based on price, but based on what we knew our customers would want. I think that's the cloth colour I used. Kind of works on the dashboard, I'll give them that much. But you get plastic down here. I want to add more like yellow trim as well. Or, sorry, gold trim. There's definitely gold. I mean, there's a lot of paint slots here. So, we've got the blue somewhere there. That can be yellow. I mean, gold. Definitely gold. I feel like I kind of don't like this at all, but at the same time, it has to be this way. So the gold and green. It's made from 24 karat plastic. Okay, yeah. See you, Elena, someday. I will finish my tachymobile. Actually, I should just call it that, tachymobile. I don't know. I like calling things mobile for some reason. It's a tachymobile. The tachymobile. It can only ever be touched by the hands of witch people. So, yeah, this is now canon. So we've got that. Yes, luxury. Actually, no, it would cost more money to paint them separately. We value our customers' bank balance. That's why we take it away from them, for the good of everyone. We're only doing what has to be done to help the witch people. Yes, to help them. Where does that colour? I don't know. I'll just make it green. I would say these bits can be yellow. I think they might be... Yeah, they're like behind. They'll have to be some kind of black or something to like blend in a bit more, as they are just the backsides of events. Oh, so we can have a bit more of our definitely gold and not plastic. There you go. It's like you're looking into a jewellery store. Totally not like you just accidentally walked into a toy factory. Making like, I don't know, jewellery, toy jewellery. So this can also be... No, that can't be matte plastic. I think that might have to be transparent. Yeah, that has to be like some kind of glass, because it leads to the gauges, so... There's just a huge amount of stuff going on with this dashboard. Can't say I hate it, though. Actually, that needs to be green, just so there's some contrast and you can see what buttons you're pressing. I feel like I'm almost done with this now, though. That can also be the black colour. And then we can go with the yellow keys, naturally. I'm not sure I like this. It looks hideous, but at the same time, it's kind of supposed to. Okay, I think that works. Kind of. There we go, and... This is now our luxury vehicle. I feel like maybe all of the buttons should be yellow. There's a piece somewhere here that I might want to change to being green just to tie it together. There we go. I think that works a little better. And then the gauges as well. There's like a piece there. Yeah, why am I even having to design this thing? We know people will buy it anyway, because it's got the brand name behind it. Of Wheel. The most prestigious brand known to man. So, okay, we've got the door cards on the back of the car as well. They are cloth. Cloth is far too expensive. Cloth door cards are for poor people. All the rich people use plastic ones. And then this can all be in the yellow colour. Just a sea of yellow on the door card because it's cheap to paint. I mean, because we have to please the witch. So I think we've also got, like, speakers somewhere. Now, I don't think they change individually. There's no speakers in this car. I think I might just put, like, one speaker in the back or something. Like, just a little radio. A mono radio or something. It's technically got, like, premium 8-track, but I think it would be funny if we just had one speaker in the back of, like, what's supposed to be a luxury car. Now, Maxwell. Maxwell is not going to be very happy in here, but we do have the perfect space for a cat bed, so I kind of have to put him in here. Sorry, Maxwell. I'm not doing it because I want to. I'm doing it because I have to. If I could make a solid gold Maxwell, that would be perfect, though. Even Maxwell is in on the game of being extremely rich. So if we go, I think the front suspension could probably be a little softer. Something like that. The rear dampers are hard, apparently, so I think I'll go more for drivability on the back, just to make sure the thing actually corners. It's not going to be grip rolling, most likely, because it's on, what do you call it? It's on road tyres, so it's most likely not going to be grip rolling. The rear dampers are super hard on this, apparently. How does this affect drivability, though? Like, that's the key, more than sportiness, how it affects drivability. So 46.67. There's 46.7 for drivability, though. I mean, so that just happened. So, I mean, I'm not sure that's the best for drivability. I can try, like, stiffening up the anti-roll bars, and I think that will definitely help. No, it won't help. How about camber? I mean, apparently I can go with... Yeah, I can go with a little camber on the back. Live coil I can't do so much because that's non-independent, but or dependent as they call it. But the rear can have some camber adjustment. I think it's like semi-independent. It's not leaf springs, it's not live coil on there. The back suspension is probably its saving grace around corners. So we've got 47. It's got quite a bit of rear camber here. And apparently that's improving drivability for some reason or another. So, okay, now it doesn't want stiffer springs. Needs to make his mind up, I think. There is a rear toe. 47.5. So, 47.5. Yeah, okay, a bit of toe and a bit of camber on the back, I think has slightly improved drivability. Well, I say a bit of camber. It's got quite a bit of camber on the back, like 1.5, which is a lot. It's about as much as you can get on a road car, realistically, before automation starts getting really mad at you. Okay, so I'm going to go for maximum sportiness. I'll have to put the front force up on the brakes. I do feel like this is not going to be the worst to drive. I mean, I'll probably export the other vehicle as well. I've got a few things to finish, but this is like the fun one I think I'm doing today. And the other one I can try and like maybe put some door cards on and call it a day with that. At least I can get something out with that one. Okay, so yeah, it's liking a lot of front brake force. It is, to be fair, it's a 2.1-ish ton vehicle on drum SLS brakes. So all you can really do is make the brakes massive and ramp up the force to try and get any kind of performance out of it. And often it will actually work. There's times it won't. And the music needs to continue, actually, because the show must go on. Or something to that effect. So, let us hope this actually improves brake performance, because there's not a whole lot I can do besides this, with not very good front brakes and okay tires. Okay, 41.1, it was doing like 47 braking distance before. This is a lot better. I've had to max out these drum brakes, but I am now at least getting some braking performance out of it. Somewhat befitting of the tyres. For its weight, it's definitely not the worst handling thing in the world. Now I can maybe ramp up the rear brakes. Or maybe not. The rear is actually on disc brakes, so I can make them smaller. It'll save a bit of weight on the back. I doubt that's going to really help. But it'll make it, perhaps, if I'm very lucky, under 2.1 tons. Because there is a lot of brake weight, and they are solid 2-piston solid discs, so they'll brake better than the front, and they will generally need less size to avoid brake fade. Yeah, the rear brake force is high. It's complaining about that, so I think making these smaller shouldn't cause too much trouble. Especially if I still keep these to 300mm, I don't think I'll have the slightest cooling issue. Like, they're already 420mm. But that size is needed for the front brakes, not so much for the rear. I mean, I could change like the front and rear wheel size manually. You only have to do that really if you've got cross plies though. It's typically fine on radials, whatever you use. So, what have we got for performance? 41.1. Maybe not the best. I will try and adjust the force, see if it likes that, yes. And I mean, as I say, ultimately just trying to find the balance. It's still not complaining about brake fade, though. It's just saying there is a lot of rear brake force, which is not actually that much of a complaint. Because as I say, I can work with that. It's the front I'm concerned with. I'm still concerned that even with everything I've done, the front brakes are hurting this. So, yeah, I mean, I could try adjusting the back suspension. Maybe it will have less stiffness or something with less brake rate. We are now under 2,100 kilograms. I think it's got lighter. To what amount? Yes, yeah, it's like losing a tiny amount of brake force as I do this, but maybe I can make the brakes larger. Point is, this is improving drivability and sportiness, and that's not something I could particularly complain about. So at least the rear brakes are not posing any trouble to me whatsoever. Yeah, it's complaining, honestly, mostly it's complaining about slight brake fade, and it's complaining about slight brake fade, which I can fix somewhat, and the engine's fuel octane and the tyre whips. So in general, this car is actually, according to automation, pretty sorted. Like, there's nothing, supposedly there's nothing going particularly wrong with it. I don't think it's gonna grip roll, because I just don't think it has the grip to roll, in its current config at least. So we're 2101 kilos. I mean, saved about 25 or so kilos just messing with the brakes. I don't know if it's a brake fade. The brakes are showing slight brake fade, but it's to a point it shouldn't really matter at all. I don't think it's really going to affect it driving it around a track. And if it does, it's probably the rear brakes that are overheating, not the most important ones, which are the front ones. So, the front tyres are wide. Yes, I get that. The tyres are wide, but I'm doing it to try and get as much grip as I can from this platform, especially since it's front-wheel drive. The engine's fuel octane, I can try and fix that quickly. I mean, I think it is naturally aspirated on a 5-litre V8, so 400 horsepower for that is still pretty good, especially considering all else is randomised. That has fixed the octane. We can try lowering the cam profile. Now, it's settled on 69, which is nice, I guess. 72. 71. So, we've got a single point fuel injection. Yes, it could have been nicer there. In general, this wasn't the cruelest engine build the wheel has ever done. We're still making pretty solid power. And you can try changing the intake and exhaust manifolds and stuff. I mean, I'm limited more for RPM than anything. It's like if I try and change the engine size, it'll limit the RPM. The torque is actually not an issue in the slightest. I mean, gets a little close to the limitations of the unit, but nowhere near being an issue. Perhaps because it's naturally aspirated as well. It's not like a ultra. Yeah, that takes a bit too much power for my liking. But it's naturally aspirated. It's not like an ultra heavily supercharged or turbocharged unit. I mean, I have put space age on. There's Opel V3 as well. VTEC. Yes, I could put the... I don't know, I guess because it's not got valve timing, it probably doesn't show the VTEC. I just, 90s Opel V3. That looks very, what do you call it? It doesn't look so special. The Opel V3 does look smaller though, so it'll fit in my tighter engine bay a little better, at least visually. I don't know, if nothing else. That will help me, I think. I think also the final size adjustments would have made it fit a little better. Like, this isn't going to be as crazy tight as you would think. The grill is, like, hitting it, but there's actually some space between that and the top of the bonnet, which surprises me. I kind of want a wheel badge. It's just, the wheel badge isn't very good that I've got, but I tried. I mean, I will try and look at, like, importing textures and stuff, because then I could put, a Seco on the side or something. Because I do have a few images that are actually quite decent high-res images I could use. $31,600 is that? $31,000. I mean, I'm not sure that would be the retail value. Maybe cost that much to create, but we're selling this to rich people. Rich people can afford to pay extra for no extra features whatsoever. Now, we need our cat beds. We need our Maxwell beds. I don't think that's actually going to work as well as just using the other bench with the kind of side on it. Well, there's two of them. This one looks more luxurious, so Maxwell gets the best of everything. I might give Maxwell a gold cat bed or something. I don't know. Now, because I don't know if it transfers. I could use that that hex value, but I'm not so sure it would transfer all that well. I will have to see. Yeah, it is kind of useless, honestly. I mean, it's probably not going to be the worst the wheel has built for handling. I think I'm the person that's honestly ruined it the most. I don't think it's even the wheel's fault in this case. Like, the wheel built an actually surprisingly decent car. You know, if you actually tried to configure it, you could get a nice enough car. I did not try and build a nice car. I just went crazy. I do still want the solid gold Maxwell though, if it actually lets me do that. A money bed. Maybe if we have that, is there like another colour? I don't know. Honestly, I'll just give him a money bed. It's more convenient. Maxwell can sleep on a bed of money. Yes. I mean, look, at least the wheel has given me space for Maxwell's. At least it has given me that much. Intentional or not. Maxwell. Oh, unfortunately, I don't think I can change a colour, so I can't make a solid gold Maxwell. I don't feel like drawing a Labubu on the side again, but I could. But there is always that joke about like the solid gold Labubu. Just put one of them in the back or something. To just prove that this is like for witch people. I mean, I'm just hoping the witch people don't realise that it is actually plastic and not gold. We can't afford to refund them. We've already spent all the money on gambling, so... We've already spent all the money from selling the cars and gambling. In the hope of becoming rich ourselves, so... You know... Here at the real car company, we care about our bottom line. If you're a customer, then you can just give up trying to get a refund. We only refund you when there's a public outcry and a massive controversy. Otherwise, we make it a point to hold on to our profits. Why am I so good at like being an evil organisation? I feel like I should be concerned about that. I think like this is almost at the point I can call it done actually. I thought it would take a bit longer, but it looks kind of dumb. And I mean, I could do more to it, but it's at a point where I'm willing enough to call it ready. Just maybe some final tuning. I don't know. I mean, I'm amazed with the brakes I managed to pull more performance out of them, honestly. So I think there is like the 90s interior mod somewhere. That's where I got the steering wheels, and that's where I can get the steering wheels and stuff. So there's pedals as well. Could add some pedals. I would say gear shifter is probably something that I could have. I mean, especially while I'm coming across the gear shifters in this part of the game. Wouldn't necessarily hurt to add one. Oh dear, I've got to find the right resizing me bob, which is the official technical term of that. We in the trade call them resizing me bobs. I don't know, I feel like someone who uses Blender must have used that term before, jokingly or not. I can't be bothered changing the colour of the shifter. It also costs our company money, so yeah, we're not going to be doing that today. So we've got a shifter, the speaker. We need the speaker. The one speaker for our 8-track system, yes. I think I also deselected it immediately. So that wasn't the ideal situation. Yeah, I mean, there's gold here. This is definitely, like, the interior is definitely real gold. I mean, who's going to deny that that is real gold and not just spray painted plastic? Like, I'm sure the rich people will agree with me when I say that's gold. It's like, it's also green because the colour of money. I think I mentioned before many times. Then we're going to need a, you imagine if we like gave it a kit and it didn't even have remote central locking on like a car that's clearly expensive. There was like the 90s stuff, and I can't seem to find it again. Right, he's getting one of these steering wheels. No, I would definitely not lie to rich people to run off with their money. This is definitely gold. This is without a doubt real gold made from... No, I mispronounced that, but it actually kind of works. It is real gold. It's gold farmed by Real Coon. Real Coon definitely didn't betray me and give me fake gold and say he got it from an actual gold mine. I still find it comical though now that story I had randomly assigned parts and Real Coon made himself a villain. Yeah, but I would never lie about putting fake gold in a car. And I totally don't have a Facebook engagement farm to make it look like people actually care about my car company when really no one does. I'm totally not just, you know, using bots to make my Facebook account look like it's incredibly active. Okay, so that's saved. There is, we've got viscous differentials, only the most luxurious, most expensive type of differentials. And it's front-wheel drive, of course. Rich people don't actually need rear-wheel drive. Rich people are not cowards, so they can handle an extremely overpowered front-wheel drive car. I mean, as I say, it surprises me just how fuel efficient this is, though. Like, 21 miles per gallon is not actually that bad, considering it's got a 400 horsepower V8. Okay, so I think I can just make some final tuning here, and then I'll probably be done. So we've got, maybe could have that softer, I don't know. It's interesting, because the springs are stiffer on the back, but the dampers are softer than the front. I'll take this, I think. Be a final adjustment with the anti-roll bars. I have just realised this car is not as low as I make it look, because I have like lowered it in the settings, as well as raising up the engine to kind of balance that out. But it actually like rides off the road like an SUV, so... There we go. I need to actually add the wheel badges. The wheel tachymobile. Like, that's the one thing I think I need to do before I say this is, like, good enough. The single indicator. So we have... we're going to need the lettering, which should be somewhere around here. If I can find it. I think it's under badges. There we go. There we go. It's actually... not a bad fit, just above the indicator as well. So, like, you know when you see this guy indicating, you know it's in a real car. I mean, at this point, with everything the Random Wheel has built, I'm slightly surprised it's still in business. Like, I'm slightly surprised people didn't catch on to its kind of inability to actually build a decent car. Where's the badge? I mean, that's not a great place to mount the badge, but I don't have a whole lot of locations where I actually can put a badge on the front. Like, at least that's visible. So, there's going to be a V somewhere. That should do. Make that a little smaller. I mean, I am forcing the badge into a tiny gap here. It's okay, with all the lights, no one will know. All they'll know is you've got money because you can afford so many headlights. which are expensive. So we have got to move that backwards. So there's the... I think that actually worked out quite well. The badge will go on here. There we go. This car is totally not full of plastic or anything. It is totally a real, full, luxurious metal vehicle. I think that's like... It's finished all the music. It's just like playing intermissions and stuff now. I'll find something. I'll find my favourite Ace Attorney music. Which has to be somewhere. There it is. I don't know, so just wait for this to load in and see if it's levelled correctly. I don't know. Could go a little quieter. So, car trim and all that. I think it's good. I can try checking the brakes. So we've got 51.9. I think it did, yeah, I did enjoy that being slightly larger brakes. I don't know, maybe it's brake fade. Or the alleviation of brake fade. There we go. How good is it slow? 41.2. I mean, the rate of slowing for this is not all that bad. I'll do the collapse deliveries and high resolution textures because that sometimes fixes stuff. Just wait for this to export. Then I can go and work on the other one. I do remember how much of a nightmare that interior was. So this, I got so used to having so much space to mess around with on the interior. The other one doesn't so much have that. I don't know if I named that, but the what was it called? This is the Tachymobile, yes. The which people won't catch on to the fact we've actually called it the Tachymobile. Maybe it's kind of tacky. So, yeah, we can build another car. I mean, I'm not going to go crazy with the whole rich people thing here. I feel like we need a different theme. Maybe, like, convince people this is, like, a legitimately well-engineered sports car. I think that's something we could do next. So... there is, body moulding? Probably can't use any of them. I think I need 3D. But there is a half tube, if you can even call it that. There is a half tube type shape, and that should do the job. So if I go... put it that way, and that should help. I think this might have a race interior. I don't know. I'll have to check that much. Could I make the central tunnel a little smaller? Because I do have method behind the madness. The, got to be somewhere. The tread diameter? No. I think it's underbody. So... ah, yes, the chassis tunnel can get smaller. Like, as I say, I do have some method behind what I'm doing here. Like, if I can make that larger, and then kind of use that as a chassis tunnel instead of what it's got. That doesn't quite work, but I think if I made it shorter... So that's an idea. I mean, it covers up the absolute worst of the chassis tunnel, I think. Granted, there's still that there. All I could think is to put a Maxwell in that seat and, like, hope no one notices. At this point, the car is, like, so messed up in terms of, like, how it's set up that I don't think it's going to matter too much. I mean, that's a convertible roof colour. If I can get the colour I used for this, the hex code, copy that, and then I can hopefully make a different one. Could actually use some kind of leather material. A little fancier than the posh car. Yeah, this one will do. Control V. So I can go, I'll just call it leather because it makes it easier for me. So, could I move that forward maybe? Like, you're not even going to see the end of it if it's in the interior like that. I mean, maybe if I get the... I think the rear firewall I might be able to change. And, like, the rear firewall is going to be far beyond there. Front firewall is apparently, like, not moved at all. But I'm pretty sure I did move that, which is interesting. I mean, that's, like, moved it forward a little too much. But at this point, anything to try and get this kind of working... Even if it is a little bit of a cheesy option. So, the rear firewall, that can be brought forward perhaps. No, it won't let me control the rear firewall, only the front one. So, we've got that. Also, I can go and probably copy this. So... drag it and then rotate it. If I pivot this around, that should hide it decently well. There we go. Like, it's not ideal at all. I mean, I don't think anyone would say that footwell actually looks comfortable. But it is a footwell. And sometimes that's all you need. Everyone needs a footwell. So we have got the body there. Okay. That kind of works. I mean, it's not going to be 100% perfect in the slightest. Oh, I didn't put pedals on the last one. I don't think it'll matter too much. So we've got the carpet somewhere here. I mean, I can just use a convertible roof colour. It saves a bit of time. Like, this doesn't look as bad as I thought it could. It is a total mess of a car. So what have we got in terms of transmission? Is it an auto or is it a manual? I don't know. So we've got, there we go. So it's given us a 6-speed dual clutch. It's been nice with a transmission at the very least. I mean, it's not super cursed, honestly. It at least kind of makes sense. Visually, should I say. Granted, then you look inside and it's like, I've desperately tried to hide certain things that don't make any kind of mechanical sense. So we have got the... Yeah, we've got to get the door cards and we've got to get the dashboard. I'll probably choose some pretty basic looking door cards. I'm going to take the side panel off my PC so it can breathe a little better. It is making smells again. I don't know. It seems like my PC will just go on through the fire and the flames and keep working anyway. So are these seats like in as much as they will go to the body? I think they are. Like if I could move them backwards a little, I think that would help, honestly. Because we do have some space like further back. I can't just seem to move a roof back. Like that would be the easy option. So maybe move that down. I mean, I'm not so sure if this is going to look decent, but pivot that so it's like upwards a little. At least that kind of makes sense of it. Like, you know, the seat is there. You sit in it, you get, for better or for worse, you get access to the pedals. Like, that at least gives some foot room, even if it's kind of a janky way of doing it. And I think, yeah, there is an exhaust. So, we need a dashboard. That's one thing. What do we have? Do we have like a race interior? Do we need something a little more pared back, or... It's on a 305 cross plies. They're actually pretty wide for cross plies, but they are likely not wide in diameter. Oh no, why? Yeah, they're 14 inches. There are limits with cross ply tires, but they can work okay at times. So we have to, I think, it's got air suspension apparently, presumably only on the front because of the back leaf springs. And off-road sway bars. Like, this thing so wants to be an off-roader, yet it's stuck with a sports car body. The 3.6 seconds, 0 to 60, very fast for what this car is. 1608 kilos, so it's like 500 less than the last one, thereabouts. 17.3. Okay, so the 2.7 ton boat was less powerful, and it was also less powerful than this, and it's also heavier, but it's on better tires. So I mean, that says this should not theoretically handle all that well. I guess it's lighter, so maybe it'll get away with worse tires just because it's lighter. Who knows? Okay, like the seats stick through there if I just leave the roof the same. I've moved the roof back. That's the only reason I can get the seats this far back. I mean, I'm getting totally sidetracked here. I was checking the interior type it had used. I think, is this like 4x4? I'd say I keep getting distracted. It's on-demand all-wheel drive. I feel like this and something else had it as well, actually. Unless I'm just coming back to this car and I don't recognise it at all. So we've got drum brakes with a solid disc, 6-piston solid discs on the front. Okay, it was kind of about that much at least. I need to find interior. Okay, we've got a luxury interior. Not sure what the point is going to be in having a luxury interior with so little space to work with, but it means I can go with a kind of more luxurious dashboard. Can go with like a wooden dash. That looks, for an earlier vehicle, from like the 60s or whatever, it looks like it might be a pretty nice dashboard. You know what, that actually kind of fits. There's still not a huge amount of legroom, but that's an issue for our customers to deal with. I feel like this company just, the company just blames their customers for every issue with the car. It's like, my car won't start. Have you tried turning it off and on again? But the car won't start, I can't. Oh, well, that's your problem then. We cannot be held responsible for someone who can't start a car. But I think something's broken, it's making strange noises. And it electrocuted me the other day. if slightly. But the wheel is never to blame. The wheel builds perfect cars. We all know this by now. But there's no problem with anything the wheel has ever built. And if there is a problem... do the Squidward human resources. If there is a problem, we can send you to human resources. I think that almost works. It feels like it's not quite centered. So I can make it a little narrower, maybe a little shorter to match. I wonder if that's... So... I mean, I'm supposed to be putting a luxury interior on. As I say, there's not a whole lot I can do to even make this interior luxury. It's kind of... the wheel seems torn over whether it wants to build a luxury GT car or an SUV, or off-roader type thing. So, interior. Do we have any kind of somewhat luxurious door cards, I wonder? 70s sedan. That actually looks quite nice. I'll try and implement some 70s sedan door cards. And oh, it's freezing up again, like the designer. I don't like it so much when it does that. So, can I... what I could do, I could make the gearing tighter, but I don't think on these tyres it will actually help. I can make the top gear slightly shorter because it sacrifices virtually no top end. At least a little shorter, like 5 miles per hour shorter. It sacrifices like 0.2 of a mile per hour. That's not a problem. So, first gear. If I set that first gear super long, still does 4.10 to 60. I mean, as I say, if this is doing like 3.6, it's one of the fastest cars the wheel has built. It might even be the fastest off the line. I just fear this car isn't going to handle. I could be completely wrong. It could handle actually fairly nicely and then still have incredible speed off the line. But I don't know for certain. So I think it's going to shift into second, yeah. So in first and second is where it gets to 60. But the 6 gears is not an issue. It still goes quite well with the 6 gears it's got. So, yeah, the 70s door cards, hopefully now it will allow me to add them. 70s sedan door cards, there we go. I don't think I can remove a roof. Removing the roof would definitely be a useful addition. So I think something along those lines, if I'm seeing this correctly. Okay, that just about aligns as well. So just stretch that out, I would say. I mean, it's never going to look perfect just stretching out the door card, but it's a lot easier than trying other ways of getting it working. And I do want to get this thing to a drivable state somewhat. I mean, actually, maybe I've got it the other way around. Maybe I'll flip that round the other way. I'll take that. I mean, as I say, for a somewhat luxurious interior, there's only so much you can do with this body, even. Because it's not a particularly luxury body. It's more a retro sport body, which is what I could get this kind of prompt working on. Tricky as it may be. Lower that a little. Okay. I think that works just about well enough. We can mirror that. Try and cover the problems with the car with a Maxwell. Wait, that doesn't look centered. I could be on that dash. Looks like it's well off center. There we go. It was well off center. I mean, I should be able to, as I say, make that smaller. The steering wheel is going to be off-center. There's not much I can actually do to even try and fix that. It doesn't look near as bad now I've started putting the interior together. It is still completely broken in terms of, like, interior space, but I can try and somewhat put something together. I mean, maybe if I put, like, an extra piece down there, I could tie it together. Just a bit of a floor pan or something. That's a rear seat of some kind. So I think it's dual clutch on the transmission. Yeah, it's dual clutch, so a shifter wouldn't look too out of place. The floors, that was what I'm getting at. So that's just like the edge piece of the floor. Can add a couple of these, or just mirror it, as I mean, like. Then can squish that down. I think this will work. Like, it's not 100% perfect, but it is together in a sense of a word. I mean, I've not even put the colours on the interior to match the wheels prompts. I can add a bit, like I can, with minimal effort, I can probably put the wood on the dashboard as one of the green colours. I have actually added a little bit on the interior, not a lot, so I can go with some leather on the dash instead of a wood, but I don't think that actually looks good at all. I think the wood look better. So if I go, yeah, reset that to a wood. It looks a lot better than what I tried changing it to. Now, if there's any kind of piece of trim, there we go. So that can be, well, I could change like the whole dash to that green, but I feel making the whole thing minty green might be a little too much in terms of just having that much green. I can add some to the seats. The seats are like a place I can change the colour a little. Because I can go with like just the middle being green, which will have some separation, and it'll look okay as a result of that. There we go. Then we can do the same with the seat bases. Like, I think that ties itself together well enough. I mean, there's quite an excess of green, actually, now I look at it again, but it is something. I mean, I could change, perhaps change the top of the backrest. Just change that to default. Then we have kind of a black, like, overarching into the green, and I think that ties it quite well. Maybe also, I've got like that central tunnel thingy. If I change that, and maybe the other one I use it for, if I make this, I could make it like matte plastic because it's already there and ready to use, so easier than me trying to make another RGB or something, or hex code. I think that ties it together a little better. Like, there is now still the green that the wheel has asked for on the interior, but there's a bit more black as well, and it all somehow works okay, at least. It's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect the way I'm setting this up, but no less, things are getting done. Now we're going to need a steering wheel. There's a few here, I think. I mean, this looks like it would be a decent fit for an older 60s vehicle, so that's odd. Like, that would not actually snap to the middle. Don't know how that's going to work out now, because it wouldn't snap to the middle, so I don't know if it's actually perfectly straight or not. More likely than not it isn't, but how am I going to know? That actually kind of balances out as well with the green. Like, just having this wheel arching out with the black. I think I'm going to have to... Actually, I think that's, like, not straight if I bend it that way, but because of the seats and everything and how they're positioned, I mean, I can only do so much. Like, this car is never going to look great with the whole mess I've got going on mechanically. But I've managed to make it look less bad. And I'm going to need a Maxwell on the passenger seat just to hide the craziness going on there. We need also a shifter of some kind. Don't know, I've seen a shifter there, but it's not a 60s one. Oh, I'm feeling lazy. I'm just going with an 80s shifter because it's convenient. Like, it was right in my line of sight. That shifter looks massive, but it isn't. It's just how this vehicle is actually tiny, more tiny than you would expect, perhaps. I guess a tiny car can have a tiny shifter. But still, I just didn't expect it to be that small. That large, sorry. Maybe if I miniaturize that a little. Well, there is a shifter there. Not sure how well it's going to work as a shifter, but it should allow a person to shift gears. Then we can finish off. With a little bit of rear trim and a Maxwell. And I've not even named this. Also the wheel badge. How could I forget it needs actually a wheel badge? I don't know, I'm just Mayhem Maker. I don't know where I thought of Mayhem Maker, but it kind of works. Like, I can't think of a better name. Maxwell's Mayhem Maker, but there's not going to be a whole lot of Maxwell. There's going to be a Maxwell, but naming it after Maxwell when I'm not putting like a million Maxwells in the car. Oh, and now the whole designer interior, the designer wasn't working. It like froze up again on me, and it sometimes does that, which is slightly irritating. Downforce. Downforce isn't actually that bad, considering this has no, I think I put brake airflow up just because I believe this was overheating the brakes. And I couldn't make them too much bigger, so I did what I could. So, yeah, so I got 44.8. This actually brakes worse than the other one. And I think it's on hard, yeah, it's on hard long life. That kind of explains that even being lighter, the other one was on medium, so a fair amount more sport in the tyres. And I think it was on huge radials as well. This is limited for it because it's cross-ply, so naturally I can't put as wide tyres on. Even despite the weight, the tyres are definitely useful being wider on pretty much anything. Unless you're on full race tyres, then you might just hit the limits of what you're capable of. I think I'll keep the brakes as large as they'll go. 275mm, it's not great, but no less. 44, so it brakes in under 45 meters. There has been worse on like, particularly on like the dirt tires, which are literally like the GTA drift tires, are garbage. But these are hard, long life. They don't have much grip, but you can actually drive fairly fast on them. They're not the worst thing you could ever drive with. I think did this get open diffs? No, this has got clutched race diff, and I think two of them because all-wheel drive. Head not be working as well as it should. So, honestly, I don't think getting two pretty much finished designs done today is that bad. I mean, this one, to be fair, was easier. Like, it's less crazy than the last one, what's it called? The Tachymobile? I think I called it. It's less crazy than that. But, you know, I was able to do enough. Like, this is one of those rare cases where Maxwell kind of becomes a necessity because I have to hide something on the interior. I have to hide, like, some driveline bit, which is sticking through where it is not supposed to stick, and a Maxwell would hide that fairly nicely. Seem to be using a somewhat larger Maxwell, I would say, but I don't know. As I say, I need to hide that piece of metal. It's just not quite going to work. Can pivot that, maybe. There we go. I think the Maxwell hides that well enough. It's not perfectly hidden, but it's far less noticeable with the Maxwell in there. I mean, I could probably, like, cheat it. I don't know, because I remember it was a drive shaft before and I couldn't remove it. Not on this vehicle or anything, but I couldn't remove that. I think this looks okay, actually. As far as a 1960s looking car, I think the interior kind of looks luxurious, which does remind me, as I've added an interior, I'm being completely dumb because I've got the windows are not transparent at all. You can barely see what's going on in there. I mean, I've at least done the interior enough that looking in from the outside, you won't see anything wrong with it. At least at first glance, you can see like the exhaust and stuff if you really look closely, but at first glance, you're not going to see anything wrong with this car. I feel like the taillights, I've got some chrome on it, so I can continue that theme if it lets me add chrome, which it doesn't. I think I need different taillights, and I want some with chrome around them, so I can work this out. That's interesting. I don't imagine them working, but I could try like just simple ones, and I could add reverse lights and indicators separately. Tilt them slightly, and then I can go link these up with just like a chrome strip, and that should be enough to, it should be enough to give a little bit of area of interest to the back of the car, so to speak. Then they can be moved forward to block the edges, hopefully. Well, not the C's. And I mean, as I say, I can add indicators and stuff lower down, sorry. So, indicators. This is definitely the more sane of the two. As I keep saying, I think if I turn them upside down, I mean, hey, it's not like the ideal place to put indicators, but if they're on either side of the exhaust, because of the way this is, it like tilts them out a bit weird at times. I mean, they're still on either side of the car. Like, they're not ideal, but you can still tell which way they're indicating, kind of. And then I can probably, in the middle, I could actually fit a nice, subtle, reverse light. Like, I'm going to have to find something. So, tail lights, maybe. I think that might just be a reverse light. That should do the job. Just squish it down. Like, as I say, it's not the best idea to do it, but, you know, I can fit something in between the indicators, and it ties it together reasonably well. We have the brake lights higher up. Don't think I need to add chrome around them or anything. Although, granted, I would change this. It's using chrome of some kind, but it's a different chrome, so it just doesn't blend. That's the internal one. That can stay. Okay. Wheel badges. Once I've added wheel badges, it should be okay. The back is less cohesive. But honestly, I've got stuff here. It's a back of a car. There is also plenty of intake for air, I think. The engine is pretty much exposed. Even if it doesn't look at it from a first glance. I had to stick the engine way up to make the suspension make sense, which is live coil. And that just kind of happened. There is maybe a bit of suspension tweaking I can do, just because the setup is so wild on this, it makes sense to do a little tweaking. We can drag that way up there onto the windscreen, and then we can sort out the other part of a badge. Just being pretty lazy at this point. Getting everything ready and then moving it to the other end of the car. Just got to get that fitting. I mean, that is a real not indicator, I don't know, but it's there. I could actually put on the fuel filler cap. I mean, I feel like that's a touch I could do, actually. Because it's still visible. Like, if you look at the back of a car, you're still going to know what brand it is, which is probably not a good thing, you know. It's not showing, though, is it? So, can I extend this? Yeah, I can do that. That fixes it enough. I mean, I'm not sure if it's like going to move it out too much and have it floating. I don't think it'll be too noticeable. Like, as I said, it's a fuel filler cap. I think that's a pretty nice touch. As I say, I do just want to do a bit of tune on the suspension to make sure this thing is drivable, and then it should be done. And we should have another one, the Mayhem Maker, as I just quickly called it. And then I can drive these two things. Because I think that's pretty good. Having two, like, pretty much complete vehicles done in one night, should I say. Just finished randomised vehicles. I'll be honest, this wasn't my favourite, but it's made for an overall fairly interesting build, I think. Just design. It's actually lower than the other one, which I'm kind of surprised by, given its live axles on leafs. No, live axles on a unitary chassis. Not a ladder, sorry, not a unitary. Whereas the other one was a unitary. So you'd expect that to be lower. I mean, the live axle coil front on either of them, so that's not exactly something I could say is going to change. I mean, as I said, I don't think these tyres have the grip to necessarily grip roll the thing too easily. Like, it will grip roll, I feel, if I do something completely dumb. And I'm not going to try and deny that. There is also anti-roll. Yeah, stiffening that up is going to help. I cannot go with camber, but I can use a toe to adjust this stuff. So stiffening up the front anti-roll bars, unsurprisingly, seems to have helped. So the rear dampers are hard. Wasn't it complaining they were soft? No. It's complaining they were hard still. So 2.6. The rear springs are softer. The dampers now are aligned front and rear. I know the front is heavier, so the rear suspension will likely need to be generally either the same or maybe a little softer. Okay, it's no longer complaining about the spring stiffness. I think just changing the anti-roll bars and stuff. I'll make the rears about as soft as I can, yeah. So below 1,000, it just doesn't like it. I think this is going to be okay. I do reckon it's going to handle a lot more like a off-roader, should I say, than a sports car. Just because of the way it's constructed. But I think it'll be okay. The handling is actually getting hit by me putting this anti-roll bars way up. So, I mean, I'm not against it. More anti-roll bars on the front should theoretically stop it rolling, and that's no bad thing around a track. Yeah, so it's finally got angry at me once I put it up too much, which is fine. We want the rear to be fairly soft, at least compared to the front. I think that's going to work. It's on off-road anti-roll bars as well. Like, that's not a sports car thing. But, as I say, if I can get this working. So we've got rear toe and front toe. Some minor adjustments here. Yeah, I like having a bit of rear toe. Like, this is probably where some stability is going to come into it. I mean, I can ramp up the drivability, but it kind of hits the sportiness. I don't think it's going to make as much difference, though, as the drivability is making it out to. It is also reducing the sportiness quite heavily. Sportiness likes having a bit of toe, and I can understand that, but the drivability is just like saying, more toe, all the toe. And no, I don't want to necessarily add all the toe. It's not necessarily good for the car. I think as I've got it set up pretty decently. 44.8 on the braking score. Not too bad. I can't say for certain how well this thing is or isn't going to handle. I think I will have had worse built by the wheel. I mean, it's not leaf springs on the front if you're ever looking for a silver lining. It's not the best on the brakes, but anything on the absolute garbage tyres is going to be worse than this in just about every way, including braking. So it's like, kind of, I guess, pick your sacrifices. This car is not the worst of sacrifices. It's not going to be as much of a sports car as it looks like. It's going to handle a bit more like an off-roader than a sports car. But I think that's fine for a randomised build. I think I've at least made something decent looking out of the prompts. So things could have been a lot worse there. Once this is exported, I will go to BeamNG. Actually have to reconnect the wheel. Surprisingly enough, I don't think that's as audible through the microphone as you might think. It usually seems pretty loud when I do it. So we can go back there. Can put that image up while I move games to BeamNG. I just look at the other cars that the wheel has got up there and I'm like, why couldn't you build that again? Like, that car was good. Why couldn't you just build another one of them? I mean, to be fair, the front-wheel drive thing will likely handle better. But, likely handle better than, like, the one that actually looks like a sports car. While the, While that one, sports car, will handle okay. Not great. I don't know why BeamNG is just taking so long to load up now. Yes, just play anyway, come on. There we go, finally got it up. I had to say stop on Steam and then reopen the application in order to get anything from it. So it is loading up now, and there we go. I will have to move because, not that, I'm moving the wrong thing. I think I'm moving like, not the stream avatar, I'm moving something, but when I start loading this up I will move the avatar because if I'm on the right, I cannot show the speedometer. My head just blocks it. The racetrack circuit. Let us hope I am able to drive. There is the tachymobile. Oh, it's got teddy bear wheels. I forgot about that. I think it was called Mayhem Maker for the sports one. I'm curious about driving this one first because I'm just like, I don't know. I feel it'll be a good place to start. And then we can drive the properly crazy thing. There we go. Just check that's lined up. Yeah, it looks like it's lined up because I didn't want to have that like not lined up with the base of the screen. Or there's a gap and it didn't look too great. Can stop that music now. Okay, this sounds good. I think it's like a turbo inline 6. Let it cool down a moment. Wait, that's two-wheel drive and ESC off. Wait, I'm confused now. So there's like, I think two-wheel drive and ESC off. I think it's like automatically switches, but you can manually turn the two-wheel drive off. I'm going to use the paddle shifters here because I'm not so sure the gear lever is actually going to work. You know what? This is actually kind of fun already. I wouldn't say it's necessarily good handling, but I've driven the ones on the off-road tyres. Not the rally tyres. The rally tyres are good, but I've driven ones on the off-road tyres and they are just awful. Like, at least this thing, it has some grip. It doesn't have a, it definitely doesn't have a turn-in of an actual race-tired vehicle, and I'm not going to pretend, but for what this is on, considering it's on hard, compound, cross-ply tyres, it's okay under order. The brakes have locked up. It's okay, I kind of saved it. The brakes locked up there, that's odd. Maybe it doesn't have ABS. I just kind of building it, I assumed it had ABS. It's possible it doesn't. Yeah, it does have ABS. Maybe it's just like, as I say, maybe it's just when you're pushing this thing super hard, the ABS can't keep up. I think there's been a time or two where I've had that on cars in this game. It's crazy though, looking at it now, like, I can really see just how tiny the vehicle actually is. I'm going a bit gentle on the brakes. I could slam them on. I mean, maybe the other thing, maybe the tyres just give up, because these are not great compound tyres. They're just about enough that you can, like, handle with them, and... Like, I maybe did seem to fly into a wall. I was doing that in a very specific way that I probably wouldn't do driveline damage. It feels like it's veering to the side. I was trying to hit the car in a certain way that, you know, it didn't do driveline damage. I think I've bent the steering, but I think it still handles well enough to continue. Yeah, it's just, it slides. Like, I get on the brakes and it slides. I feel like, though, I think I know what it is. I think it's just not got a huge amount of back-end grip. It's not the worst, though. Like, if you get used to the car's race tyres, they just have grip, regardless of how bad the setup is. This is like, it's okay, but I feel like in general, you know, there's just not the massivest amount of rear end grip, especially with how the downforce, or lack thereof, is set up. No less, as I say, I feel pretty sure I can get a good lap. It's not horrible to drive by any means. It's not as bad as I thought it might be. As I say, it's only on hard cross-ply compound tyres. Hard compound cross-ply, should I say, but yeah. It's the brakes that do it in, though. All the time, it's the brakes that are doing this in. If I can fix that issue, it'll be brilliant. It certainly has a gearbox. So if I brake in a straight line, it does lock the wheels up, it seems. Bit of correction there. Third lap I could definitely do something with. This lap isn't thrown away, but you could see that I almost did. Going gently on the brakes is easy enough. It's just not ideal. The way this thing is set up. Also, it's not even showing the wooden dashboard. Fail. Nah. I mean, I can deal without the wooden dashboard texture. Looks more like aluminium now, which is still kind of premium. Yeah, it just seems almost like it runs out of grip, and then I have to try and correct it because I'm slowing, and it's all kinds of complicated to drive there. And it's like, the dirt tyres actually do the same thing. Like, they lose traction, but you don't know or understand when exactly it's going to lose traction. So this is actually, under the power, for the most part, it's lovely. But then it seems you get too much rock in the suspension, and it just doesn't work, and I'm not shifting gear. I'm trying to demonstrate something with my hand, and then you can't even see my hand. But there's too much rock in the suspension, I feel, and then it loses traction. Because these tyres don't have a lot of grip at the best of times. And you can, like, work them for grip. You can get some performance out of them. I won't deny that. Like, I can do that, as you may be seeing, that it is going relatively quick. But it's like, if you try and go too dramatic on the inputs, the car just gets knocked askew, and it does not like it too much. It does seem better, though, if I go off the track. Like, they're not dirt tyres, but they do seem to take the dirt, I think, a little better than race tyres. There, you see, it almost stepped out on me. I just about managed to keep it in line. Yeah, this inline 6, I've not mentioned, it does sound nice. Like, this inline 6 sounds pretty nice. I mean, maybe a little too loud. I mean, it doesn't sound loud through my headphones. There, I'm fighting it, though. I'm really fighting it. Slow into here. Okay, we've got another lap. For all the issues I have done, for all the issues I have had with this, should I say. Okay, get it out your system now, and then go under the third lap and do a good lap. Oh no, it feels even more wonky. At least I can say, even with that off, I didn't completely throw away the second lap, so if that's all I got to work with, yeah. I'm tugging the wheel there, just to try and, like, stabilise the thing. It takes bumps okay, it does bounce over them, but honestly, it takes them. Yeah, as I say, it probably does handle a bit like an off-roader trying to be a sports car. Had to lift off there, and I am, like, wobbling the wheel. left and right to try and stabilise the thing. Like, it may look like I just can't drive, but that isn't the main issue here. You see, there, I was on full lock trying to stop it sliding, and I didn't stop it sliding. I just managed to get into a position where I could take off out the corner a little better. Like, I don't feel I've lost much time here, but I feel I'm so close. It may have some damage going on from the various times I've had smaller bumps and here and there. But it's like, this car is... It's unnervingly close to just going off at any point. If you know, if you know how to drive it, it will reward you with some decent speed. As you are probably seeing here, like, I took this corner gently enough, and I got a nice one out. But it's like, I have to go super gentle on the brakes, because if I don't, the thing I feel will lift up the back wheels and completely lose all traction. Like, I could feel it sliding there even, with all-wheel drive traction going on. And you see, I had to go off the track with, like, 2 wheels, just to try and keep this thing under control. It has braking performance, but if I use it, the back end just slides out and almost hit that barrier there. Now, you see, I'm being cautious. Here's the thing, I'm being about as cautious as I can and still carry a decent amount of speed. Maybe I'm just going quicker than I, like, feel I am, which is somewhat possible, but yeah. You see, like, you have to tug the wheel back in order to get the car to follow where you want to. And even here, like, you see, looks like I'm driving badly. It looks like I'm driving like I'm drunk or something, but it's this car. It throws up surprises. And the wrong kind of surprises. And the only way you can beat them is, like, by just tugging the wheel until it goes where you want it to go. Like there, just slid on the brakes. And I have to tug the wheel now, because it won't even just go on the straight and put the power down. See, I'm tugging the wheel there. Like, I know it's the last lap, so I was willing to take a bit of a hit there and just keep going for it. So if we go on the laps, I don't know, like, okay. I think that there's 2 laps showing. I don't know if there's a third one. I feel like it does this thing where it invalidates certain laps if it feels you've cheated or something like that. I don't get it, but we have got 2 other laps, so there's probably 1 decent one here somewhere. And we've got the Mayhem Maker status box. That was quick. That was like a leaf spring front vehicle with a 3-speed transmission. I don't know if there's a quicker one. So it's 32nd out of, what, 50 results. What has finished? What else has finished around it? I think that was like the pickup truck, but that was quicker on its final one. That was a good, like, retro pickup truck thing. Maxwell's little camper, that's beaten it. Not sure on everyone, but yeah. Princess Maxwell carriage. That was a very good handling thing, but only had a 2-speed transmission, which held it back quite a bit. Really does prove the value of handling, though, the fact that that has beaten this. Because it's actually more powerful, even. And I mean, maybe that's the other thing. Like, I'm not respecting this if it has 450 horsepower. I was treating it like it had about 250. So, like, maybe I just wasn't understanding that this car had more power than it could control. But it did seem very unnerving. Like, it almost handled, but not quite. So we've got the Bricky's Speed Fabulous Roads. I think some of these are, like, slower laps of good cars. And what is it finished above? We have got above the status box. The Princess Maxwell carriage. Okay, it beat one of the Princess Maxwell carriage's laps at least. Car OS Frog Edition, that was like the first thing the wheel built, and that was actually pretty good, but it had issues. And that's why I couldn't get 3 laps of the speed this car is going at, or faster. The Flying Pickle, oh, that was bad. That was like a GT40 bodied thing on the world's most awful tyres, even worse than these ones. And that was also front leaf springs, rear double wishbones, Ford GT40 body, and yeah, the like terrible cross-ply off-road tyres. That, if anything, proved, because that Flying Pickle, it wasn't the most awful thing you could have built on those tyres. And that was 239, 560, 235, yeah. So it's like 4 seconds quicker. The value of tyres alone, because neither of them drove particularly well, but this actually had enough grip to go that much quicker. I need to stop waffling anyway, and I need to change the configuration for the other vehicle we built, which is not the Mayhem. It's got the teddy bear wheels. I should be able to see it. There we go. The what's it? I forget its name. Money Machine? No, I think it was like Tachymobile. Okay, so we will be loading in now. Yeah, I mean, I need to turn this down because I keep having the cars a little too loud. I think, okay, maybe set it down to minus 30 decibels. Okay, that should do. Just want to get the volume right because I feel like the other one was too loud. It does sound good. Like, I thought the V8 when I was building this was silent and I've also not added exhausts. That was dumb. I can do that another time, though. How does the interior look? I mean, I was going to say, how does the interior cam look, but... Yeah, so this car looks, like, legitimate, though. Have to try all the lights. Yes, rich people lights. The poor people can't, have lights. Good to see the rally lights work as well. I wasn't sure they were going to actually function properly, but they do. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So I think this has like a 5-speed. No, well that was me. Okay, there is a manual mode on this transmission. I can't remember exactly what it is. I think it's automated manual. So we have got that. Put the drive mode off. It's spinning these medium tyres like mad, but I do suspect it'll get better. I think it was just putting down all 400 horsepower at once was making it struggle. Okay. Progress is being made. Like, this does handle better than the last one, though. I can feel that now. The other one was kind of fun, but terrifying and dangerous. The, I keep forgetting the name. I just call it the Moneymobile. I think it was a Tachymobile. The Tachymobile as this is, tacky as it might be, it's not the worst. Like, I've driven much worse. As I said that about the other, but this one actually handles fairly nice. The only issue I'm actually noticing immediately is it just struggles to put the power down. It's got 400 horsepower going through the front wheels. That is not a normal amount of power to send to the front wheels alone. Most cars in the real world, as they start approaching that power, they just give them all-wheel drive. For something sending all this power to the front two wheels, it's not actually that bad, which is also kind of surprising because it's live axle on the front, but it just doesn't feel it. I mean, maybe the front wheel drive helps with that side of things, but it doesn't feel like it's got terrible front suspension, which I guess you could say leaf springs would probably be worse, so it's not the worst suspension. But yeah, it actually rides pretty nicely as well. It rides surprisingly flat. It feels kind of like some obscure 60s muscle car. And I mean, I know it doesn't look like a 60s muscle car, but that's how it feels to drive. Maybe like an Oldsmobile Toronado. That's the thing it makes me think of. I think that was what made me think of while building it as well. Oh, what happened there? Sounded like the axle was getting scraped off by the side of a track. It's fine, like there's nothing wrong with the handling at all, but it did sound like a very unnerving scraping noise. Okay, that was actually good. A lot of understeer, but it put down the power surprisingly well out that corner. I just floored it and it took it. I do think maybe there's also, because they're medium tyres, maybe there's like a certain element of them warming up and then they'll behave a little more like soft compound tyres. It's possible. But then I don't know. It's just, I can go over those, like, bumps. I had to try, I felt like I had to try and straighten it out a little because it was, I didn't want to hit the wheels at a wrong angle. Why is that a, what is that, a seal? I mean, yeah, it's, I don't mind this, though. It does understeer, but it's not It's not terrible to drive. I mean, it makes me think of a Tornado. I mean, it's so easy to draw parallels, though. Like, both of them had 350 plus horsepower V8s, and both of them had front-wheel drive. I think longitudinal front-wheel drive as well. Both of them were large vehicles and pretty heavy. It's just too easy to draw those kinds of parallels. Flooring it, and I was in first gear, so I wasn't going anywhere as quickly as I could. This is going to beat last one, though. I can say that with absolute confidence. I mean, what is it? It's going to beat the Mayhem Maker, which I honestly just wanted to make Mayhem for its driver and throw them into the nearest tree. Kind of difficult to control. This is just rock solid, and that surprises me. What it feels like, because I said it looks like a Beetle. I said it looks like a Volkswagen, a massive Volkswagen Beetle. It actually handles like I would say, like I would imagine a Volkswagen to handle. Just kind of predictable and somewhat boring, but very predictable and easy to drive. I think I kind of broke it. I think I can still, like, go, though. It seems to be putting power down. Yep, the car is kind of broken now. I say it's nice to drive, and then I do this to it. I wonder if that bump, like, fixed it at all. The wheel looked very off the moment I last saw it. Somehow I feel it's still driving nicer than the Mayhem Maker. Yeah, that is not a healthy front wheel. I think it is mainly the bodywork that's damaged, but the front wheel is not healthy. Okay, on we go. I mean, Maxwell at least seems to have survived the impacts I have had, so that's no bad thing. So we've got second gear here. I mean, I don't think I can get a quick lap anymore. Famous last words and all that. Hey, I mean, it was a small enough impact I can probably finish for one at least. Second lap was okay, at least. It is, yeah. Honestly, the more I drive it, it feels like maybe it drives as a seal. Wow. Have I lost a wheel? No, the wheel is somehow attached, but it's making a lot of scraping noises. Yeah, this thing, I've got the wheel upside down now, and it's going straight. Somehow I feel like that's not how you're supposed to have a car drive. First gear. I mean, this is full lock, by the way. Full lock to the left, and it was just going into that wall. I don't think I've lost a wheel, though. Like, honestly, this does feel like it's lost a wheel, but it has got the wheel attached, and it's moving. The only thing I could think, maybe the wheel is, like, clinging on, but it's not actually got power or something. Yes, and I'm going to take this thing over 100 miles per hour. Damage cannot stop me. Well, it probably can stop me to a point, because if I don't, like, I'm going to have to slow early because of, well, the cornering issues. Like, if I don't, it'll just go straight ahead into a wall. It's already trying to do that. Honestly, of all things, now it's a lizard. I mean, the interior does kind of look like that. Somehow, imagine if this is like the quickest lap. And it's driving like it's lost a wheel. I think it's just the front end bodywork that is so destroyed. It's constantly scraping the ground, almost as if I have lost a wheel. But it's still got the wheel and able to put power down. I think that's what's going on. I don't even know which way is up anymore. The wheel just likes being upside down. And the wheel is like what I'm using to control it. So it's not ideal when I have to turn it at very awkward angles to even try and get it to go. And then the understeer gets me. Full lock to the right, by the way. And I'm just barely getting it out of the sand. Where's the moon now? Oh yeah, just a random bit of trivia. If you put the, if you use the exclamation point slots command, you can actually gamble emojis. It lets you gamble the actual emojis if you enter them. I don't know exactly why, but you're allowed to do that. That's a feature of the Avatars program. And we're across the line. Imagine if this is like slower than the last one. That would be very disappointing given it actually drove fairly nicely. So, okay, it's allowed 1 lap. I have no idea why. It's disallowed 2 of the laps. Yeah, I mean, you have to put, the way you have to do it, you have to put exclamation point slot and then the emoji. So if I just see what's coming up, I don't know, I'll put the octopus guy. So if you do that, it should do the gambling feature, but you put an octopus in or whatever. Yay. So anyway, this car is like actually not that bad. I don't think. Not. Oh, that's total time. So that's why it's only showing 1 lap. So it is lower down on the leaderboard. The Car OS Frog Edition. I'm sure I've seen this. I'm sure I've seen like the other one hovering. The last one I just drove hovering around this point, if I'm not wrong. I'm sure it was like around here somewhere. Tachymobile. Yeah, I acquired it by... I kicked the machine, yes. Or that was me, or it was the octopus upset about getting gambled, I don't know. So, Maxwell Wagon, the Flying Pickle. I feel like this... No, that's not fair. How did you get double the money I did by kicking the machine? That's not fair. That's not fair at all. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure the other car finished about this point. The, what was it? Mayhem Maker, as I called it. I'm sure they finished about the same point on the leaderboard, but it's not showing the other one for some reason. The rejected villain supercar. About, like, a dead meme vehicle. I feel like that's something we should all boo at, like, whenever we see it on the leaderboard. Just boo at the rejected villain supercar because it's too cringe. The, yeah, that's odd. So, it did okay. I mean, 37. Wait, status box, was it there? Ah, there it is, Mayhem Maker. Somehow, I'm surprised by that. Given how nice this thing drove, this car is, like, just over 2 seconds slower than the Mayhem Maker, which I'm surprised by, because this was a lot worse to drive. I'm not bad at gambling, it's just the system hates me. Right, I know, we must find this out once and for all. Did you steal 5 coins from me? Where's the question mark? There it is. The yeah, Sakura, did you steal 5 coins from me? There we go. If Sakura admits to it, then we know where my money has gone. Well, it's technically Guy coin, I guess, not coins, but the point remains. Oh, is Sakura not even answering now? I wonder. Oh dear. I do wonder sometimes if you did steal my money. Maybe you do it all the time and I don't even notice because I don't check my balance. So we've got Spawn New. Nice try. This thing, okay, so here's the thing. This is quicker. Which I didn't expect, given it drives like it's got... Like it drives like this is just on ice at times. And it's quicker than this. They both do like around 20 miles per gallon as well. Vomiting. Slots vomit again. Like, I don't know. Someone who cleans that slot machine is going to get very upset about that. They're going to just find a load of stuff in there that shouldn't be in there. I mean, to be fair, this does have like stability assists, which I had off. Like, this thing is weird, as I say, because it's like you step on it, it just wants to go, which is fine, but then when you try and brake, as I will show in a moment, when I brake hard, which is why I didn't like doing this, you try and brake hard around the corner, instant just slide. So the brakes are just messed up on it. It's probably going to be okay once that's fixed, but the brakes are just not good. But this has actually surprised me, because I was surprised this was not as bad as I expected, honestly. No, this one can't be a seal. They can't all be the seals. Although, to be honest, this probably has about as much grip as a seal. It probably has as much grip as a seal on ice, honestly. Look, it could have chosen anything else to crash into. No, it just has to go head on into the, into, like, not a post, but a sticking out barrier. Is it on rear-wheel drive or something? Because, no, but even if it's on rear-wheel drive, it still shouldn't be sliding under brakes. I mean, I was going to hope this is better off-road. It just isn't. Like, this is even worse off-road than it is on the road. It was okay on the road until you start braking, and then it's just awful off the road. Hey, it does manage to filter out the bumps quite well, though, so that's something. Let's see. Okay, this is surprisingly refined over the bumps. That much surprises me. I wouldn't mind trying to go back in and doing a tune of this, because it's so almost there, though. It's just not quite perfect. Let's jump. Oh, we almost landed on the roof as well. Maxwell, are you okay? Oh dear. You didn't see that. Maxwell is fine. Maxwell is perfectly fine. The car also doesn't want to tip onto its wheels. Come on, tip onto your wheels. There we go. Maxwell is perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with Maxwell whatsoever. Why are seals going in the slot machine? What did the seals do to you? Wait, the rear lights don't light up. The reverse light lights up, but not the rear lights. That's not confusing at all. I kind of like how wild this thing is, though. And then we have this, which is extremely nice to drive, but somehow slow. I guess it's just the weight behind it and the front wheel drive. Crazy how this actually handles like a Volkswagen, though. It handles like a large Volkswagen, which I didn't expect, but it's also kind of something I should have expected. I don't know. What happens if I bring a seal to a casino? That sounds almost like something someone would ask ChatGPT, like this terrible ChatGPT questions. Should I take? Is it okay if I take a seal to a casino? And then it's like, yes, that is a great idea. You should definitely take a seal to a casino. But then it's like you get to the casino and they're like, why have you bought a seal here? Who told you that was a good idea? I am actually curious how quick I can get this thing too, because it seems like it could handle a lot of speed. No, not shifty. Yeah, it's shifty. I'm messing up. I'll have to try and find somewhere, if there's somewhere on this map especially, where I can just get this thing up to speed. This looks like some kind of airfield zone, which would be good for that. So reset that. And some reason it changed the car. I'm gonna try and like change this thing. Not change the thing. I'm gonna try using this. Emotional support. Maybe that would work. Honestly, saying it's an emotional support pet, emotional support animal. I don't know. I think it's like I think that's a more official term, emotional support animal. This thing, like, as I say, it's crazy how stable this is at speed. See, it like the car is no more. I don't know. Maybe that's a good thing. Does it actually still work? It would be funny if this still works. The engine's going. Oh, would you look at that? This thing still somehow accelerates and, in some sense of a word, steers. That's crazy. Like, that should not work. I mean, at least the automation cars deform. Now, you know what this is like? It's like Wall-E or Wall-E, I don't know. And it's like, you know, they make the cubes of metal and stuff. That's what this looks like now. And Maxwell is actually safe. Would you believe it? Maxwell is like mostly fine after that impact. The car isn't, but Maxwell is like the only surviving part of it. Which is something. I mean, I don't know. Does the indicator work? I don't know if I've got these assigned. Probably not. I think it's. I think if I remember correctly, that's the indicators. Hey, look, our indicators even work on the mirrors. I'm not sure the one indicator. Wait. Ah, okay, that's interesting. So the indicator we've got on the back, it works, but it only works if you're turning right. For some reason. So if you're turning right, that indicator works perfectly. If you try turning left, the indicator does nothing. Who knew? Who knew that the witch guy was turning left? His indicators wasn't on. Oh, sorry, should I say his indicator wasn't on? I don't know. I could try getting the other one as well, like that. If I go reset this. I'm curious about the other one. The other one supposedly did like 225 miles per hour or something absurd. So, the other one did, there it is. I do like the colour on this, but then, of course, it's a Core 2 Duo channel and it's like a literal Core 2 Duo colour. Of course I would like it. So I think I'm going to turn the traction assists off. Let's see what this does, because this should be genuinely just monstrously quick, but dangerous. This is now a tiger. Let's see what happens. Will this one take flight? It doesn't have downforce, that's for sure. Oh. It's okay. This back end can be like repurposed and turned into a shelf or something. The engine has actually gone on that one, but it was working on the other. Wait, the engine is there. The engine is like... The engine has just like left a chat. The engine has just left a chat because this whole thing is the drive line here. And my wheel is getting all angry at me. But yeah, that whole thing, that's the drive line with the engine attached. As you can see, like the intakes there. And it's just like left the car. And now seals are going in the slots. I mean, the stream avatars is like, if you look that up, that's it. That's the program I'm using. So it's got like all these features and stuff. I don't understand all of them, but you can do a whole lot of them. Especially with the moderator, what do you call it? Moderator powers. Anyway, I mean, we've cubed a couple of cars today. I think that's a good conclusion. So I'll just get something else to play with to finish off, I think. Oh no, not that one. That's too cringe for me to even get it now. Let's get the ducky out. I quite like the ducky. It's even though it's only rear-wheel drive and it pretends to be a crossover with all-wheel drive. The ducky is quite nice. The wheel does build sometimes pretty decent vehicles, just not all the times. I don't think it has any actual assists. I think it's just ABS on this. How quick does this go, I wonder? Because this has 250 horsepower, so it's got nowhere near like the 400 or 450 of the other two. You know what? This, despite its massive lack of power, it actually goes. And that V6 does sound nice as well. Would you look at that? I got like 125-ish miles per hour and it actually stopped. That's how you know you're onto a good vehicle. The other ones, I think even if I tried, they just wouldn't have stopped in that distance. I've got a whole family of Maxwells back there. I do like me ducky. I did also do a lot of suspension tuning on this so it doesn't handle as awkwardly for live axle coil on the front. Like you see, I did work on the suspension. It does have a number of advantages doing such. I think it's on racing slicks as well. It handled surprisingly well off-road for something that's actually on full racing slicks. Like, look at this. I'm on the dirt and the thing is actually just cornering perfectly. See that grip? And this is like actual tyres with no tread in them whatsoever. Just plain like rubber. So that's a strange happenstance. How does this drive like a seal? Does everything drive like a seal? I think the indicators on this should work. Yeah, they're some of the nicer indicators I've done. They're actually like arrows pointing where you're going. And we have the Maxwell ears as well, which work as indicators. You know, I couldn't remember what the button was before, so I didn't know to press the little keys on the keyboard, and then I just thought, and that actually works. Only one of the exhausts on this is wheel, also. But I will have to finish now anyway, because I've done about what I can. So, yeah. At least we have a nice vehicle here to finish off with. If I turn this, I think this might be body on frame. No, it looks like unitary, honestly. And there's the engine in the middle. But anyway, with a couple of half-decent wheel cars finished, yeah. I'll be calling it for today. And I will say goodbye until another day.